We suffer from the shit. We end up in discourse arguing. Meanwhile, the people are pulling the strings and confusing people. That's
Hey,
what I'm
just
going to say.
hey, just a notice that we are live now, y'all. We are live, so let's keep the calm. Let's keep this going.
Can I make a comment after?
Greg, I
I don't think religion's ever been independent from politics.
Hold on, I Sonic, you want to say something?
Yeah, can I make a comment?
Yeah, you got to speak up. We can't really hear you on the stream. Go ahead.
Is it any better if I speak louder?
Yeah, go ahead. You get right there.
I think we're confusing the people, like the population group that lived there, with the religion and the language that came in. It's like saying what happened to Egypt. People claim, oh, language and religion came in, so the population replacement happened. So the same thing is happening to the Palestinians there. The Palestinians are Levant people. These Christians, especially the Palestinian Christians, they're genetically there. The Muslims might have mixed more with others during Islam coming in, but for the most part, those are Levant people. When you say Ashkenazi Jews, they might have some genetic ties to the area, but it's less than the Palestinians. So we got to separate the religion and language and the culture coming into the place with the population group.
I agree, Isonic, and that's why at the end of my statement,
Okay, let's move this to when you get a chance, True. I think he's back.
I'll be very quick because Isonic's point was really short. I'll be quick. That's why I said at the end of my statement, Isonic, I could get into the history from like talking about the city states and all of that, but I can also get into the genetic history of both sides. The people we call Palestinians that practice Islam, as well as the Jews, whether they be Mizrahi Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, Sephardi Jews, all those people have a genetic history. I said that. They have a genetic history to the Levant. And they all have a claim to that land due to that genetic history, along with the archaeological history. So that's why I believe in a two-state solution, because both of those people have genetic ties to that land we call the Levant. And I think if anyone tries to argue with that, you're having a bad faith argument. Go ahead, Stu Peace.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry about that a while ago. I was ready and I got cut off, but I think I read, the dude who came up, who explained who has genetic ties to the land. The land existed many years. The Romans were the one who changed the name of the land, or who named the land, because no land was actually named Israel. No land in there was actually named Israel. The Romans changed the area and called it Palestine in about 150 or 135 CE. Now, people is going to talk about the Ottomans. That region of the world was first conquered by the Romans. And then after the Romans were conquered by the Ottomans, or the Arabs, whatever you want to call them now, they conquered that area. It's almost, if you put a map down and show the lands that the Romans conquered in Africa, and show a map that the Ottomans have, the Ottomans, it overlaid perfectly, right? So the Romans were the first to call that piece of land Palestine. No, we read Bible stories. Somebody talking? We have read a lot of Bible stories, and Israel wouldn't matter if the Bible never exists. But because the tradition of the Bible tell you that these were God's chosen people and they had this land, right? When has religion ever proved to be ownership of a land? But I would prefer if we not have this conversation on YouTube, because this conversation can cause a lot of problems. But if we want to have it on YouTube, we can have it, but it's going to be not the normal conversations that we have. But on the two-state solution...
Why does this conversation have more problems? Why you say that?
Because I don't want your channel to come off as anti-Semitic. Because
Well,
somebody like me will
keep it
come
balanced. We got people that'll say something opposite of you. So speak your truth. Just try to keep it clean. Speak your truth, though.
My thing will be clean. The two-state solution is stupidness. It's like saying to people in America, America is a Christian country. And because it is a Christian country, it is a Christian state. So if you're not a Christian here, we have to cut off a part of America, probably Give me a shitty part of America. The more shitty state. A desert state, Nevada. Probably we'll have to send all of you non-Christians down to Nevada where the land is hard. The country is a country. When it was Palestine, before the Zionists came there, they were accommodating Jews. Just like they were accommodating Jews in Babylon. Right, Jews were in Babylon up to 1948. They were accommodating Jews. All of a sudden now you hear that the Jews were persecuted in Palestine. That's not true. They were accommodating them. The Europeans never ever wanted the Jews in their land. When they want to be the British or the Germans or the Russians, they never wanted Jews in their land. So they make up the story to say, we're going to give you your own land. They never need their own land because they never had any land named Israel. No land ever named Israel. But they're going to tell you some story about some people called XYZ. They were always in Palestine. They were in Palestine from the time of the Romans. When the Romans changed their name, they were in Palestine when the Ottomans were there. They were always in Palestine. They never stopped being in Palestine. And they were always accommodated in Palestine. So this two-state solution is garbage. They just got greedy and wanted all the land for themselves.
Yep.
That's all that happened. But somebody else can speak.
Okay, I just want to quickly respond. So, first and foremost, from a historical and archaeological standpoint, you saying that the Romans were the first to colonize that land is egregiously wrong. Before
I did not say that.
I didn't cut you off, bro. I wanted to cut you off so bad that I didn't. But that's not true. First and foremost, during the time of ancient Egypt, we know the land, the first name we have for the land to be the land of Canaan, right? So you have the Canaanites or the people of Canaan in the land. This is even documented on the walls of Egypt. Obviously, the Egyptians banged on them and took control of the Levant from the Canaanites, right? And then shortly after that, right, we have the kingdom of Jerusalem. You don't want to call it Israel, that's fine. But we have archaeological evidence outside of the Torah and Bible that prove that a kingdom of Israel and land of Judea existed. And then from that point, that kingdom of Israel, well, Jerusalem, got into altercations with the Philistines, right? The people we call the Philistines, who also had interactions with the ancient Egyptians as well. They were called the Sea People at times because they come from the Aegean Sea, those little islands in the Mediterranean directly under Greece. So the Philistines are not indigenous to the Levant. They come to the Levant and they start fighting and attacking what we call the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And the Philistines are the people that are documented to have been fighting David and Saul and Solomon biblically, right? That's like Goliath, for example, would have been a Philistine. But I'm saying even outside of the biblical story, we have archaeological evidence of these Philistines or sea people. My bad.
So,
Wait, hold on. I'm almost done. I got a phone call. So I'll speed it up. After the Philistines take control of the land and it becomes Philistine, right? Which is where the word Palestine ultimately comes from later, right? The Philistines end up getting the land controlled by, well, no, they changed the name to Phoenicia, right? Because Phoenicia is a Greek word. And again, these people are of Aegean Greek origins. They call it Phoenicia. And then later, after that, that's when the Romans you're talking about come in and they name the place not Palestine, but Palestinia. And from there, after the Romans have it, everything you said was correct after that. But you left out all of the history. Hold on, please. I've landed my plane. You left out
They named
all,
it Syrio-Palestinian.
you left out all of the history before the Romans. And one of the places, one of the empires, or one of the city-states that existed before the name Palestinia gets there, before the name Philistine gets there, is the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And the people we call the Philistines, which is where the word Palestine comes from, those people are from the Aegean Sea. They're not indigenous to the Levant. Now, the people we call Palestinians today, they are indigenous. The people we call Jews today, they are indigenous. There's a genetic footprint to prove that. And I'm saying we could just end the conversation there. We could see the genetic history. So, all right, I'm done.
Repeat that again. Repeat that again. Are you saying that the Palestinians who are there today are indigenous to the land?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's
And
a
I'm
good question.
also saying,
That's-
along with that, hear my full statement. I'm saying the people we call Palestinian today, right? They have a Levantine genetic footprint. That's undeniable. And I'm saying along with that, so do the Mizrahi Jews. They have it the most out of all the Jewish groups. So do the Sephardic Jews. And even the Ashkenazi Jews that have a large Eastern European input, they still have a Levantine input. So I'm saying all Jewish groups, I'm saying all Jewish groups, all Jewish groups, along with the people we call Palestinian, they all have a Levantine genetic footprint. And the only differences they really have is, like you said, the religious differences. And I don't see a problem with having a religious state because no one thinks Saudi Arabia is problematic. That's a religious state. Nobody thinks that any of the other Islamic religious states that exist is problematic. So why is having a religious state, if the people want it, all of a sudden problematic? There's religious states around the world. But I land my plane.
So 1865, the Ku Klux Klan comes into existence. So I asked the question again. If this country was majority all Klansmen, and this section over here was blacks or indigenous or whatever, you're being terrorized. You're being displaced. You're being bombed. So there should be a coexistence because Europeans who founded the Klan in Tennessee in 1865, their family came here in 1612, 1623. So and this group over here should be able to coexist with them because they've been here since anybody came, or 1609 or 1612. There should be a two-state solution. That's insane. That's called compromise. It's not the problem of white people, it's the problem with the Klan, it's the problem with the ideology. So taking that back to this two-state solution of Israel-Palestine, it's not the issue of Jews, it's the issue of the ideology of Zionism. Is a political ideology masqueraded with religion that people have their hands in their pockets and they have their hands in other people's pockets. It's an economical issue. And religion is used and an ethnic group is used, and no, it's all business. But what can anybody do? Nothing. Nothing. That's the reality. We can have these discussions. We can have our agreements and disagreements, but nothing's going to happen. And it's going to continue. But just know and understand that two-state solution, that's absurd. That's absurd.
Yeah, Cuban, your example
Where do you
is
want them to
different.
go?
I was going to say,
Go back.
Cuban.
If they from Poland, go back to Poland. If they
Cuban,
from
your
Spain,
example,
go back to Spain.
Cuban, your example is different because the white Klansmen in question, and even us black folk, we are not indigenous to here. We don't have any genetic ties to North America. Well, you do, no offense, but me
How
as
do I
an
have
African,
North America if my family's from Cuba?
Oh, okay. Well, let's say the Americas. You have indigenous American genetics, right? So you have a claim to these lands we call the Americas, period. I'm saying these Klansmen and even us black people that were forced here, we don't. That is a
Okay, so
different.
hang
Hang tight, brother. Hang tight. The people in question, hang tight. The people in question that we're talking about having a two-state solution for, they have genetic history to the land we're talking about. So when we're talking about giving the land back to the original people of the land, I'm saying both of them have genetic ties to that land. And if we're going to apply that across the board, I guess every African American is going to have to get their ass out the U.S. I guess every white person is going to have to get their ass out the U.S.
It's a great
So
point.
I'm saying the conversation, you just created a false duality. It's not comparable. These people have a genetic, let's throw religion out the window. Let's throw ideology out the window. Let's throw philosophy, politics, all of that out the window. Genetically, both parties we're talking about have 11 components to their genetics. And I'm saying we could just leave the conversation there. We don't have to argue past that.
That don't
So
make
you don't
sense.
think
That don't make sense.
you really believe that a Russian, a Polish person,
Right.
a German, a British, because there's people in Britain that are Jews, right? You really think that those people have lineage, DNA to that area versus that they are individuals that adopted a culture and a religion subscribing to it, claiming to be
Cuban. I'm saying me and you, we don't have to speculate about it. I could pull up the genetic studies.
Hey,
Like we don't
Let Gullah get in there. Let Gullah get in there.
Hey,
Gullah, you can
can I
get it.
say something? No, I'm saying even the genetic stuff is kind of, yeah, I understand the genetic stuff. Even when you said that Cubans have a lot of Cubans don't have a lot of Native American ancestors like that. It's mostly African and Spaniards, you know, and European. Like Cubans only have 5 to 10% of Taino ancestry, which is the same amount of percent of ancestry of Native American that African Americans have, which ranges to only 5 to 10%. So that was a weak argument right there. Well, you talking Cuban, you got like ties and this and that. Shit, some African Americans got ties to that. If you talking about genetically, 5 to 10% of it. So that's kind of weak. Yeah, so I don't know. I think you're saying about Palestine and all that, but that analogy you made about Cuba and the African Americans, that was a weak genetic argument.
Yeah, but Gullah, we have to be a little honest that when we look at the broad conformity of the genetic output of African Americans on average compared to the average Cuban, you are going to see.
You can't compare that because you're talking about black people in a country. You got to talk about the whole America. Cuba's a country. You talking about black Cubans in between African Americans? That's one thing. Black Cubans have Gullah,
I didn't say Gullah. Wait. This is what I'm saying. We gotta be fair. Gullah. I know the conversation is a little personal. I know the conversation is personal, but this is where we have to add context to who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to somebody I would consider a black Cuban. And I didn't use the word black Cuban. I said Cuban, and I'm talking to Cuban Crisis, who I don't look at as a black Cuban like I would look at you as a black Cuban.
He's not a white Cuban.
I didn't say he was a white Cuban. What did I call him? I said you're probably indigenous.
How are we in Cuba? Why are we talking about Cuba?
Yeah, and like you know what? Fine, Gullah, you're right. Gullah, you're right.
I'm saying you can compare a whole country.
Gullah, you're right.
You can't compare a whole country with one ethnic group.
Okay, Gullah, you're right. The point is simply the people we call Ashkenazi Jews, the people we call Sephardic Jews, the people we call Mizrahi Jews. Yes, Ashkenazi Jews out of those 3 Jew groups have the highest component of Eastern European. Some of them have it up to 60%, right? But at least 30 to even sometimes 40% of their genetic history is Levantine. And then when we get to talking about and then when we get to the Sephardic Jews and the Mizrahi Jews, their Levantine component is even higher. So what I'm saying is, these people, it's not a situation like African Americans where it's only 5% indigenous American. They're not only 5% Levantine. They're somewhat of 30 to 40 to even sometimes 50, 60% Levantine. What's confusing people is one side of these Levantine people is calling themselves Jews, the other is calling themselves Muslims, the other is calling themselves Christians. But when you look at them on a genetic level, they all share a history to that land, genetically. And I'm saying, why are we ignoring that?
I would say one group has higher percentage of Levantine ancestry. The other group is coming in from outside. And what they're doing is population replacement. They're trying to push people out.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a lot of people other than Jews that have Levantine ancestry, other than the Jews. They ain't the only ones that have it.
But the two highest groups,
Can I say something? You just
the people that are there. Because people act like people act like every single Jew that was in the land we call Israel and Palestine, that all of these people are coming from Eastern Europe. All of these people are coming from North Africa. Some of those Mizrahi Jews have always been there. And the Mizrahi Jews make up 50% of what we call Israel. Israel is like 50% Mizrahi and like 50% Ashkenazi.
Can I speak now?
Let's speak peace go. And what was that voice? Who was that other voice that was talking?
That's me, man. What is True is talking about?
Oh, Thunder.
Yeah,
okay, what's going on? Hey, let's do peace. Hold on. Wait. Let's do get his shit in, and then you and Thunder, y'all go to the middle of the cul-de-sac. Go ahead, Stu.
Okay, all right. I will agree with you that those European Jews do have a connection with the Babylonian Jews. I choose the Babylonian Jews and the Palestinian Jews. They do have a connection. They do have a relation. It might be a distant relation if you call it out, because they left out approximately 3,000 years ago.
Thank you, Supies. I appreciate that. Thank you.
They left out no, I speak true. They left out 3,000 years ago, but they're distant cousins. But they are cousins, right? Now, my problem with it is that when they went out and they were persecuted in the foreign land where they bloomed in, because they had no interest in Israel for nearly 2,500 years. They had interest in Normandy in France, where there was a very rich population controlling the government. They have interest in Germany. They have interest in Georgia, where they were flourishing financially. Am I lying? In many European countries,
they made a huge error. They made a fatal error, thinking that when they go to these other places, that they were going to do better than their homeland. They end up getting persecuted in these new lands, and then they want to come back.
No, you're not going to say it that way. They went into these lands and they become very greedy because of something called usurage. What is usurage? The usurage is the practice of lending money with interest. Right? Yeah, hello. Right. Beautiful.
It's amazing how fast you code switch.
That was crazy, right? You heard that.
The most diabolical shit I just heard in my life. That nigga just went from
good morning, beautiful.
Hello.
You got your white name hello.
Get the fuck out of here. This nigga went from I walk it down to greetings.
We have
good morning. Hello, Sandy. How was your morning?
Is your argument truest?
Yeah, what's up, Thunder? What's up, Thunder?
My apologies. My apologies. Let me just finish what I was saying. No, these Jews went into these lands, these European lands, and they became very rich and they became very greedy. if you read Shakespeare, there's a nice Shakespeare book that defined how the Europeans at that time see the Jews, right? Was it the Merchant of Venice, where the Jews were looked upon like Shylock, as greedy. As a result of that, they were persecuted severely, especially in Russia. If you're interested to find out how they're persecuted in Russia, read Fiddler on the Roof. Read that book. It's a fiction, but how the Russians view the Jews. As greedy, as cunning, as conniving, as operating behind the back. So pretty soon now, all of these countries started to contract the Jews, pushing them into special areas, what we call ghetto. Because ghetto is not a black term. Ghetto is a Jewish term for places where other cultures will push Jews to live in. But then they say, oh, then they change the argument and say, oh, these are not ghettos, these are Jewish ghettos. So they start differentiating ghettos, though. Just like when the Americans decided to push the African American in a special area. Elvis Presley came with a song, the song "Poor Little" was born in the ghetto. When Elvis Presley re-sing that song, right? Ghetto was not a term for black people. It was a term for Jewish people because other people see them. So what they did know, they went to England at the time and they said, listen, we realize that we have a problem here and we have been persecuted, because Adolf Hitler wasn't the first one persecuting them. Adolf Hitler was the one that did the most damage. But the Russians were killing Jews by the thousands, by the tens of thousands. Everybody was killing them and persecuting them. Right? So now
So they're not making it
Hey,
up.
we gotta let Thunder get in. And by the way, Thunder,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sharing your screen on the stream if you don't mind.
Right.
Just letting you know.
Right.
I don't know if
Excuse me,
you-
so then they weren't making it up then. Then they actually, it might have been their fault, but they were actually getting persecuted.
No, I'm not saying that it is a fault. I'm not saying that it's a fault. What I'm saying is that when they decide, because Palestine was always open to them. From long before the English, Palestine was always open to them. Many, even in World War II, went to Palestine without visa. And the Arabs in Palestine opened the doors for them. And you cannot deny that. When the Americans were turning back ships, when the English was turning back ships back to Germany, it was packed with Jews, with Polish Jews. The Palestinians were opening the door and said, come, we welcome you. The problem with the Palestinian thing is that when they went into Palestine, they got greedy.
Come on, Stu. You gotta lay your plane soon.
Let me land. Yeah, they got greedy. I said, listen, you're welcoming us into your house, and we're going to take it over. That's what they did. But I finished.
That's not a bad. That's not a
Now,
bad.
who uncorked that whiskey bottle?
All right. Good morning, everybody. So, if let's use context, man. So let's. I think we got to reset stuff. I think the argument is already the indigenous, right? So we got, according to ChatGPT, the modern Palestinians are generally indigenous to the land. All right. So we got that. But also Canaanites, Israelites, Philistines, Romans, Byzantines, Arabs, Crusaders, and Ottomans have also inhabited the land. We have most historians agree that many modern Palestinians descend from people who lived in the region during Byzantine, Roman, and earlier periods. There was no large-scale population replacement. Okay, so we got all that. But at the same time, Jewish people also have ancient roots in the land dating back to over 3,000 years. Both Palestinians and Jews trace historical connections to the same territory. So, Truist, I hear your argument, but I'm still going to say that generally, it's I think it's this right here, man. That war, them defeating the Ottoman Empire, created all this. So if you want, I guess, Palestine to be free or whatever it is you're arguing, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to defeat Israel at this point. So, and that
No,
ain't
bro.
gonna happen.
Wait, Thunder, I'm not
Listen,
saying
Thunder
I
don't know
want
the
Israel to
arguments.
be. Yeah, Thunder, my argument is I'm pro two-state solution. I'm pro. I think Israel deserves to have a state because of their history to the land, and I think the people we call Palestinians also deserve to have a state due to their history to the land. That's
right.
my
Yeah,
position.
I agree with that.
Can I ask
No,
something?
no, I don't agree with that. Can I ask both you and Thunder a question?
Who was the
Thunder,
person that said, "Can I say something"?
I don't know.
I want to.
It
Thunder,
was me.
are you American
All right,
first?
well, let's do P's, and whoever said that, go right after. Go ahead, Stu.
Thunder, are you American first?
Yes.
No, Sonic was
Do-
trying to talk.
Yeah,
Sonic
yeah,
was trying
yeah.
to talk.
Yeah, Isonic, go next. That's all I want to know. If you're American first,
I'm
I'll
American
tell him my
first, yes.
argument when my time come out.
Okay, go ahead, Isonic.
All right, thank you. Truest, I agree with you at some points, but what I'm confused about is this: why are you fighting so hard for the Israeli Jews who are dominating the area, who are not the ones who are being oppressed right now? They're the ones who are actually destroying the idea of two-state solution. Not only do they have most of the land, they also have settlements, and they're pushing for more settlements in the West Bank and in Gaza region. So they're the ones who are destroying the two-state solution. They're the ones who are trying to control the whole region. But it seems like you're fighting for them rather than trying to
Exactly.
understand the balance of what's going on. I'm confused.
It sounds like to me you're accusing me instead of asking me. You want to ask me because I could answer. Like to me, I'm not pro that. I'm not pro expansion of the state we call Israel. I think what they had initially was good enough. I'm not a proponent of them continuing to expand their borders even further. I clearly said in the beginning, I'm not pro genocide on either side. I'm not pro the US giving Israel weapons to kill innocent women and children in Gaza. I'm not for that at all. I'm not for it on the other end either. I believe both parties should have a state where they have their own autonomy, their own sovereignty, and should be able to coincide and live how the majority of the people that have their religious belief. Because at the end of the day, personally, I feel as though if you go far back enough, these are the same people genetically. But because one of the groups, which is the Jewish groups, left out some centuries ago and went all of the places they went, they ended up mixing with other groups. But at the end of the day, these are distant cousins that have different ideologies and religious beliefs. So I believe both should deserve to have their own autonomy.
I
don't agree. And I just want to be clear again, I saw it because I kind of said it earlier, but I want to be clear. I am not pro Israel expansion.
You already said that. So I am a pro Israel expansion. I'm pro anybody expansion if they got the power to do so. Wow. If Palestine,
yeah, I don't agree with that. Just for the record,
my brother, let me talk. You done dominated. We heard you. Now, the same way that America expanded, you know, with California and Texas and Arizona, we expanded by force. And if Palestine, same thing with Russia right now. Russia is expanding by force. They're getting at least two. I think at the end, the only thing that's going to end this war between Russia and Ukraine is Ukraine are going to have to agree to cede property. It just ain't. There ain't no other way around. What?
Do you understand where you're at in the conversation right now?
Nigga,
you realize you just got up here and said you like pro oppression? You know that?
Yeah. Logic, will you shut the hell up?
No, I'm asking you a serious question. Do you understand that's the position that you actually just took?
Are you under the impression that I don't have enough common sense to know what the hell I'm saying?
I'm just making sure that you got enough common sense to know what the hell you're saying.
No, you just cutting me off. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing.
You cool with that? Were you cool with the statement, just like how I said it, that you actually pro oppression? You cool with that?
What do you mean oppression? I'm pro power. I'm pro.
What the hell you think power is?
What you mean? What I think power is?
How do you obtain power without oppression people? You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. If you got the power to do it.
Hey, Logic, it's safe to say whatever you was trying to like find in his soul, he's already found it, brother. He's where he at.
No, I just wanted him to say it in plain English.
He did.
Okay,
go ahead. I just want to.
He said it in plain English. Go ahead, continue your.
Let me finish.
Disposition is more in line with like.
But let Thunder finish.
Yeah, but I don't need nobody to damn give a synopsis of my opinion, bro. Y'all be quiet. I ain't talking while you be quiet. Again, if you got the power to expand, expand. If ain't nobody there to stop you from doing it, do it. Why not? You got so many. When you look at, I've already given an example. We did it. America did it. You don't hear nobody in America crying about, oh, we need to give California back because we took it by force. Oh, we need to.
I believe that.
I know you do it, but how many people?
We complain about how America goes about its power all the time. All the time.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You ain't never complained about America and the Alamo. You ain't never complained. You better be quiet. You lying. You a straight liar. You ain't never complained about the Mexico War. Not one time in your life.
Try to trigger me, but he can't.
You ain't never.
You can't even tell me nothing.
I guarantee you, if you wasn't talking, it wouldn't even be no damn contention. All you gotta do is be quiet.
It really ain't no contention. I just wanted to make sure I heard you say it.
No, you say I'm trying to trigger you. I couldn't trigger you if you would be quiet.
You are trying to trigger me. You are trying to trigger me.
I guarantee you I wouldn't be triggering.
I can step in and ask for clarification. I absolutely can do that. That shouldn't be contentious to you.
Okay, let me finish.
I said, go ahead, continue. You won't continue. You continue to try to trigger me.
Sunday, can I ask a question, please? Before you continue,
let me, man, y'all talk. Y'all been talking for 4 hours. Let me talk. I ain't cutting nobody off.
Take Canada? Should America invade Canada?
And no, if Canada don't stop them,
America is more powerful. Should America invade Canada?
No, you saying should. I don't care. I don't really care about the Canada.
Hey, Thunder.
Another argument, man. Y'all let me finish. Now the point is,
Thunder. Hold on. Let me say something inaccurate history a little bit. America didn't take Texas by force. Texas rebelled against Mexico, went independent, and joined the U.S. They took California by force, but Texas they didn't take it by force. Texas just joined it because Texas voted against Mexico.
You said
so long as history together.
All right, you saying that? We'll come back to that. Now, my point is, expansion is a part. When you looked at what was that? Ghana expanded, right? When they had their empire going, you had Rome expanded. That's a part of life. The big bank gonna take little bank every time. No, ain't no getting around it. So when you saw Israel about to do it right now. When you flatten that whole what do they call it? The Gaza Strip? I mean, it ain't nothing there now. So when they get it cleared out in probably 10 to 20 years and rebuilt, you think that's gonna be Palestine? No, that's gonna be Israel. So that's how this works. Man, it ain't about being oppressive. I don't care about that's ethics. I don't care about all that silly stuff. I'm talking about power, bro. They got the power to do it. Ain't nobody gonna stop them. Nobody gonna stop them.
Ethics is silly. Ethics is silly. So are you anti-ethics?
Just when you thought you would never hear nothing
and an argument about expansion, and you gonna try to bring up ethics when we talking about power and expansion. Bro, that don't play out.
So you don't believe in war crimes. You don't believe in war crimes at all. You don't believe in war crimes at all.
No, I don't believe in no war crimes. No. Wow. Russia is putting in that work. they about to take over at least probably 20 to 25% of Ukraine. Matter of fact, they took Crimea under Obama. All this stuff, they have been expanding for the last 10 years, 15 years. That's what they're doing. So
you're definitely okay.
Matter of fact, if you want to talk about expansion, look at NATO. How big is NATO gotten in the last 40 years? They're expanding. Everybody expanding, bro. That's the only reason we got this war in the first place, is because they try to keep expanding eastward. NATO was expanding eastward, and Russia told them, hey man, y'all need to stop, because if it hit our borders, that's it, we done. And then guess what? Ukraine tried to file to join NATO, and then I think it was 2 to 3 years later, that's why you got this doggone war, because it's expansion. Everybody expanding, man. Ain't no ethics involved in that.
You need some Naeem Akbar in your life, dog.
Well, this the fuck. The dude just verbatim. Thunder just verbatim recite everything that Fox News is saying. Thunder don't understand policy. If him say big bank take liquor bank all the time.
Thunder needs some Naeem Akbar, yo. That's crazy.
That's wild. And let me get this right. He definitely said he's okay with expansionism and taking over people and all. He said that, right?
Yes.
Yes. He clearly.
Your name is Thunder, the son of Satan. That's what I'm gonna call.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. I'll take that.
That's crazy, bro.
No problem.
That's
your argument. That's your argument against what I said?
Yeah, respond to the message, not the people.
Thank you. You want to attack me? That's fine. That's silly ad hominem ridiculousness. That's fine with me. But you ain't gonna retort nothing I said, nigga.
Well, actually, if you would like, I would.
Well, here's the thing. Let me just a quick public service. This is not an echo chamber, bro. Everybody ain't gonna agree with y'all, and when they don't agree with y'all, when y'all throw ad homs at people that don't agree with y'all, you make your argument weak. Respond to people's message, not the people. We're gonna have a lot of people in this Discord that don't agree. That's why we got good conversation, not an echo chamber. And if anybody wants to share their screen, I'll put it up on the stream so that the chat can see what we're talking about. And Astro, stop talking shit in the chat. Get in here and talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a question for the truest. So I just want to know, what language did the Sephardic Jews, Mizrahi Jews, and the Ashkenazi Jews spoke 200 years ago? If you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what language?
Wait, hold on. Hang tight. So to answer that question, right? Yeah. As I'm sure you know, Mizrahi Jews cover a wide range of area, stretching from the Levant to the far Middle East, right? Sephardic Jews. What
language did they speak?
Bro, calm down. The Sephardic Jews, they stretch from one side of North Africa all the way to the other side to Southern Europe. And then the Ashkenazi Jews, they stretch over a wide range of Eastern Europe. Because
you said that they had
brother, hold on.
So what language did they speak? I'm asking you a question. What language did they speak?
I'm trying to answer your question. Because these Jews lived in a multitude of different lands, even amongst those three types. Depending on where they were, they would have obviously spoke the language of the land.
So they spoke Arabic from the Mizrahi Jews. They spoke Arabic. Is that right?
Some of them, yeah.
They didn't speak modern. So how old is modern Hebrew? You said they have indigenous claims to the Middle East. How old's modern Hebrew?
What does that have to do with them having genetic history? What does linguistics? Wait, time out. What does linguistics?
No.
Wait, time out. I don't speak a West African language. I don't speak a West African language, but does that mean I don't have a genetic history to West Africa?
Could you go back after 2,000 years and say, look, this is my land, get the hell out, to people that have been there for how many thousands of years, probably 5,000 years?
Because of what happened. I'm trying to answer your question, brother. I feel like you're being
I know the answers. I want you to tell me. Because Because you're saying that they have
do you want me to tell you, or do you want to tell? Do you want me to? Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to just talk at me? Because I can mute up. You can just get it out.
I think you answer me.
All right, so let me talk.
Do me a favor. Truest, meet your mic. Astro, you know the answer to the question. Just make a statement versus a question.
Okay, I'll make a statement. So the Mizrahi Jews have been living there with Muslims, Christians. They had no problem. That same goes for the Sephardic Jews. The Ashkenazi Jews are European. They didn't speak ancient Hebrew. So I'm just confused when you were saying that they have an indigenous claim to Palestine. And if you look at genetics, if you want to look at genetics, I think Stupes was saying they were Arabs, but Palestinians are not genetically Arabian. They sit a little bit further towards sort of the Mediterranean. They have the purest indigenous DNA, and that would be Palestinian Christians and Sumatrans.
Yeah, nobody called them genetically Arab. No one called them genetically Arab. If someone called
them Truest. Let them finish, brother.
So if you go back 100 years, what was the Jewish population in Palestine? 100, 200 years. It was like 3%.
What you say?
What was the population of Jewish people in Palestine, in that region, say 200 years ago? What was the population?
Brother, so you said a lot.
Okay, Truest, that wasn't a question. Truest, that wasn't a question. Let him finish. Let him finish, and then you or Thunder or somebody else come in. But y'all can't. Apparently, this can't be a back and forth conversation.
No. It's simple. I'm Lebanese, so I know. So 3% of the population was Jewish in Palestine. There's still Jews in Syria. There's still Jews in Iran. There's still Jews in Iraq. They cluster with that group of people. So they didn't have to leave there and come to Israel and kick out the indigenous people out of that land. So there was only 3%, say 200 years ago. Well, that was the answer I was trying to give.
And ChatGPT
what do you support?
Okay, let me respond.
Hold on, before we move on. I'm trying to moderate this as best as possible. Everybody gonna get a chance to speak. But I got a question for you, Astro, before we move on.
Yeah.
Do you support a two-state solution or a removal of Israel from that land?
No, you can't remove Israel. You can't remove people. They do have a genetical connection.
What do you support?
No, I support one state. All Jews, Muslims, and Christians all live together in peace.
All living together.
All together in peace and equal rights. Every single person has an equal right. There's no difference between a Jew, Muslim, or Christian.
Okay, let's move on. I appreciate that. I'm glad you came in here.
I second that solution also. That's the solution.
The one-state solution with everybody living in peace?
Huh?
Hold on. That's fine. Thunder, what is your solution? Is it one state or two state?
Yeah, I just said it. That's what everybody. Oh, you go pro oppression? No, I ain't pro oppression. Israel need to expand, take over that whole area, and then everybody live in peace. That's it.
So how's
expand where?
Stop.
Wow.
Stop. Thunder. If you the controversy in the statement that you're making, though, is it when you say one state solution, it sounds like you're saying what they're saying, but they're not saying Israel take over the whole thing and make it a one state solution. They're not saying that. You're saying something different than what they're saying. That's just so we clear. So I know because you was like, I'm saying the same thing. You're not. You're saying something different.
Well, okay. In regards to one state, I guess maybe we agree. But the methodology, maybe we disagree. That's fine.
Yeah. Perfect. That's a perfect answer. Who was next?
Me. I'm next. I'm next.
Okay, Stu and then True.
Please not turn this into a
go ahead.
We'll get some Stu and some True.
No, I just wanted to say that.
One of the two. Hey, that wrong.
That's all I wanted to say.
Go ahead, Trey. Stu, he said go True, and then after that, we're going to go Stu.
Okay, so the brother, his position of saying he doesn't feel like even Jewish people should be removed from the land at this point, I respect that. I commend that, right? But this means that you have a population of people that, one, right, to have a religious state for their religion, which are the Israeli people that you're saying even shouldn't be removed at this point. And then you have another population of people, predominantly the people in Gaza, but you could say all of Palestine as well, that they want to have a religious state as well. So I'm saying if we're not removing either of these people, which we both agree is wrong to remove either of them, we have to be able to allow these people to have autonomy to run governments in the way they want to run them. So this is why and my position isn't radical. This is the mainstream political position across the board. Two-state solution is the solution because of that reality. The majority of Jewish people in Israel want to have a religious state, and it would be the one and only Jewish state in the world, in a world that has so many Islamic states. So I do believe the Palestinians should be able to have an Islamic state as well, because that's what the people of Palestine want. So that's why I'm pro two-state.
I disagree with you. Firstly, you said that they need their religious law, but if you look at a country like Lebanon, okay, Christians can have their own laws and Muslims can have their own laws, and so that really doesn't make sense.
That's the political system. But Astro, that is the political system that the Lebanese people decided they wanted for their land. I'm saying when we look at it, hold on, brother. I'm saying when we historically look at how the people of Palestine have voted and supported politically throughout the 2000s for what they want their country to be governed like. And then when we see how the Israeli people have done the same, we clearly can hear the voice of both sides and what they want. And what they want, unfortunately, on both sides is a religious state. You can't deny that the Israeli people want a religious state.
He said Palestinians want a religious state. I think you're making that one up.
I'm making it up. Brother. That's literally how Hamas is formed.
No. Because there's Palestinian Christians.
Hamas was a political party. You know Hamas is a political party, right?
You should read more, my friend, because if you look at history,
is Hamas a political party?
Have always given Jewish people their own rights and their own political.
Yeah. Okay.
No, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know I don't. Can you just answer this question? Is Hamas a political party?
What's Hamas got to do with it? We're talking about Palestinian people. There's not everyone in Palestine.
Because I'm telling you why. Because a lot of people ask Astro. You asked the question. You asked the question. Let me answer why. Most people, because of how the media portrays Hamas, only see Hamas as a terrorist group. Wait, hold on. Brother.
How many Christians in the West Bank?
Jesus Christ.
Y'all can't have a back and forth. One at a time.
How many Christians in the West Bank? How much Christians live in the West Bank? Palestinian Christians.
Please don't ask them no questions.
So it's not going to answer.
Y'all can't talk back and forth. Y'all keep asking questions, but y'all can't.
I'll just talk. Since it's my turn, I'll just talk. I won't ask questions. Just trying to be charitable. If you look into the history of the formation of Hamas, and the conflict they were having with the larger Palestinian group that controlled the country in the beginning of the 2000s, Hamas gains control of Gaza because the people of Palestine supported Hamas, which was a political party. It's a political party.
Gaza, not the West Bank.
Brother.
The people of Gaza. You got to correct yourself when you talk, not the West Bank.
I think you might be just a tad. I know you invested, Astro, but you gotta let them finish, bro.
Yeah, the people of Palestine supported Hamas as a political party and movement because Hamas's political stance is having an Islamic state. They want an Islamic state, and that's what the people of Palestine pushed for. What's that?
Finish.
That's
finish.
But anyway.
And you're playing, True.
So I'm saying it's very clear what the people of Palestine politically want. It's very clear what the Israeli people want. And if we are not going to remove one of those groups, a two-state solution is a way to give both sides the state they want. And this is why political people across the board on the left side of the fence and the right side of the fence that are in the middle push for that two-state solution, because when you look at the situation, that seems to be the best solution. But I'm done.
All right, appreciate. Go ahead, Astro, or somebody else want to get in?
I just want to ask something. So I put in the live chat a video of a rabbi that wants the return of a Khalifa, right? So again, I think this is what's being overlooked, is that one state, the Zionists gotta go. Not Jews, Zionists, because Jews there have an issue with Zionism. And I don't think you're understanding this. So if it was a one state, the Jew, the Christian, and the Muslim could coexist. It's been done before. And it was done before under the Khalifa in that area. And any Jew will tell you that that was the best time for Jews. Because under that type of leadership, it's not insanity. You see what I'm saying? Like in that culture, there has to be a fluidity of religion and politics. It coexists. There is no separation. So anybody that lived in a place like that, under the practice of the religion really being practiced how it should be practiced, it's the religion teaches that the Jew and the Christian is protected. The only thing that's paid is the jizya, the tax. That's it. Whatever enemy you have, the Muslim protects you. You can be a Jew, you can be a Christian. This is recorded in the religion. That talks about the Muslims would hear the bell of the Christian, and he would hear the horn of the Jew. It coexisted in the time of Prophet Muhammad. It coexisted after of the 3 generations. But leading up to that is the problem in the Islamic world, is that people who came after as a Khalifa, they were deviating a lot of times, and they were practicing Khawarij, extremism.
Jizya isn't capitalism? You don't see jizya as capitalism, telling the people, hey, if you pay this, right, we don't have to go to war. We don't have to have a conflict. And you know that jizya only applies to Christians and Jews. Like jizya doesn't apply to polytheist pagans or atheists. With polytheist pagans and atheists, jizya, the only option is war or surrender. There is no jizya for the pagan or polytheist. So that's what I'm saying. You don't look
brilliant, bro.
I know Islam for real. My dad is.
He's correct on who wouldn't be under that. Okay, but how many in that area are atheists? And if they are atheists, they live here or they live in Europe.
Because of Islam is supposed to be for all time.
The only people that practice magic, who would be the polytheists, is maybe somebody who deals with divination of their sorts in their culture.
Yeah, but Muslims call Trinitarians, which is the majority of Christians, are called polytheists. They say all day you think Jesus is God.
It is, but then you're getting into a thing called fiqh. So then you would have to get into the technicality. Because what you're saying,
so that means the majority of Christians.
Hold on, Troy. Okay, go ahead. In plain English, what's your solution?
Solution is a one state that is governed by Muslims, and that you can be a Jew and you can be a Christian.
Wait, what'd you say?
A one state would be an Islamic state where the Jew and the Christian will coexist and practice the religion.
By paying jizya, right?
But you said governed by Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah, and the way we coexist is by paying jizya, right?
In some cases, they would probably allow non-Muslims into political.
Yeah, but Cuban, you are anti-capitalism. I'm trying to
hold on, Chris, because he only gonna argue with you. I'm just trying to talk to him. Just give me a second. So if you want it to be governed by Muslims, then my question to you is this. You know how we always talk about changes of governments for countries? Mm-hmm. How do you get to a point where it's one state governed by Muslims between Israel and Palestine? I know you say that that's what you want, but that don't even, I'm not going to tell you. Do you think that's even realistic?
Because it's not Jews would have an issue with it. It's the Zionists that would have an issue with it.
Yeah, but when you keep doing this Jewish and Zionist thing, I understand what you mean, the people versus the political belief. But here's the thing about when you say remove the Zionists. When you say remove the Zionists, that actually comes across, right?
You're a
As
racist.
removing, yeah. And it comes off as removing people who think Israel should exist.
He's a clear
So,
racist.
Because
that sounds kind of like, I'm not talking about you as the man, but you keep saying it so plainly, but it's a really kind of racist statement.
It's not racist because Zionism is an ideology. It's not a people.
Yeah,
So
but when you start talking about
that
removing them, hold on, Cuban. So we having a good conversation, but when you say remove them from the Jews, that's a racist statement, bro.
It's not racist.
Okay,
because
explain your point.
It's not racist. It's like saying if it was the pumpkin party, right? And you're like, nah, man, we down with the apricots. But people in the pumpkin party may look like you. But it's not an issue what you look like. It's the issue is what you think. And in order in Zionism to operate, there's never extremism out the equation. Because their view is that they are the chosen people and that's their shit. And we're going to take it from you. What they're doing now, that's Zionism.
But a lot of Jews see
but
Zionism.
Cuban, as a communist, you don't see how what you just said in regard. Okay, well, as some of that is anti-capitalism. Let me be clear. You don't see how the concept of jizya is capitalistic and how it's antagonistic in 2026. Like you're saying an Islamic State in 2026, not in Muhammad's time, but in 2026. We should have an Islamic State that is telling Jews and Christians that if you want to live in the state, you got to pay a jizya. And all the while, people like me that are atheists telling me that I don't have a place there at all. That war is the only option for people like me. And most Trinitarians, like I said,
that religion don't teach that. That's not true what you just said.
Brother, I can show you how
Islam. Show it. I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, like
it says.
Just to be clear, what are you saying? What are you saying? The rule for jizya is when it comes to the polytheist, pagan, and atheist. What are you saying before I go grab that for you?
Under Islamic State, they would be killed.
Exactly. So, do I deserve to be killed?
But that's not war.
You know what? I'm done, man. I'm gone. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with this call.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm good, bro.
You know,
this is ridiculous.
You know what's crazy about this particular group of people in this community? Y'all will have the most divisive, racist conversations. Egypt. But when you talk about something that's actually happening today, when the water get hot, everybody runs. Thunder came in this motherfucker and said his message was literally expand and force them to live under Jewish rule. And it heard what Cuban said and said, I can't deal with that. I'm out.
I don't understand that shit, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is the
crazy as hell. But if we was talking about Egypt, you niggas are being here talking about each other's mothers, threatening each other's lives.
But you know why it's different, Brass?
Because Egypt ain't real. Egypt ain't real.
Egypt
he came in here and said he supported genocide.
Egypt is 5,000 years ago.
Hey, Truist, there was a bar. Hold on, Truist. I can't get past the bar. Hold that thought. Chef, can you just say that bar and please somebody drop a bomb on what he just said? What did you say, Chef?
The Egypt conversation ain't real, but the Palestinian and Israel, you talking about real life people and human beings. Like, you talking about killing motherfuckers today? They don't. What?
I didn't say I would do that.
No, but the Egypt is 5,000 years ago. We're talking 2026. We're talking in 2026.
Chief X? Ain't Egg Beats Chief X? Somebody dropped the link for Egg Beats, but Chief X, if that's you, just come into the Just come into we in the Discord. Just hit the link. But go ahead. But no, I just wanted to. That's a good point, Chef.
Yeah,
Like,
we're in
I ain't gonna get
2026. We're not in 3000 BC. And we're hearing the extreme radicalism on both sides. We hear it from Thunder on the Israeli side, and we hear it now. I'm hearing this from the last person I would have thought I would have heard of, Cuban.
Yeah, that was wild, Cuban.
That set me back.
You lost me there. I thought I knew you, Cuban. You lost me.
No. Wait a second. He brought that context.
Yeah, because that's what an Islamic State would entail.
That's what you're describing. Cuban, well, a lot of times when you talk literally about religion and history and stuff in Islam, me and you we always clash. I respect your intelligence on the subject, but we always clash in the real world application in 2026 of the things that you described. And if you think that the real world application of running this as a Muslim state somehow is just going to be peachy keen and everybody's just going to pay shit, bro, it'll be worse than what the hell is going on right now.
No. The question was, what do you think?
No, I'm not talking about a question. I'm basing it off what you said.
I'm saying that's what made me respond to saying what I said, right? Okay. It's in other words,
I don't believe in no religious state in 2026. I think any religious state is insane in 2026. Fuck that. All of them are wiped off the motherfucking planet.
Yeah, you know what, Chef? I don't necessarily disagree with that. I agree. But the issue I run into in this conversation is people only bring up religious states being a problem when we're talking about it being a Jewish state, when there is multiple Islamic states around the world from Asia to Africa, right? So if we're going to remove and say no, religious states are dumb, we gotta be fair.
Afghanistan should be nuked,
but there is no.
They should drop a nuke on Afghanistan. That motherfucker's so backward. Fuck that.
There are no Islamic states. You have Muslims.
Wait. Did you just say Egypt? I have a problem with this conversation because Egypt ain't real, and these are actual people dying. And then in the next 5 minutes, say drop a nuke on Afghanistan. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
That's the only way we're
coming from Chef.
Yeah, bro.
I feel like I could accept it coming from Chef. I ain't gonna lie, but when Thunder said he was pro genocide, that kind of hit me a little different. I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy.
Why?
Why does that rub you the wrong way in Afghanistan? Like anybody, you can only shoot them motherfuckers. Yeah, that's the only solution. They don't listen.
There's no Islamic state in the world. It doesn't exist.
Come on,
you have Muslim countries.
Wait. Cuban. There are Islamic states.
No, they're not. They're Muslim. They're Muslim because, okay, remember what y'all said about the atheists and the polytheists, right? You have those in other countries that are considered Islamic countries, and that's not being done. They're very wishy-washy. They pick and choose. Saudi Arabia is the closest, and Saudi Arabia is by far still far away from a real Islamic state.
What about Senegal?
Practices that
Cuban, you know this. Muslim is not a religion. Muslim is the believer and follower of Islam.
That's why. That's why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it. Because
but no, it's still incorrect. Because even if they're not,
why they are the practitioner, they are not upon the criteria. Islam, Quran, and Sunnah.
The criteria for what? The criteria for what?
For the religion is the Quran and the Sunnah. So
no,
if it was
what is an Islam? Stop. What is an Islamic state?
It has to be based on the Quran and the Sunnah. And
it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it has.
No, it does not. No, it doesn't. See, that's your version of it. That's
no,
Cuban.
It's not my version.
Cuban, no. Girl, look up Islamic State. It's only gonna say Islam is the official religion of the state, and the laws are based partly or fully on Islamic law. Sharia.
Okay.
That's it.
Where does the
Those
law
are only
come from?
two. Now hold on. And if you say that, I know you can now stretch it to whatever you want to define it as. But if we're gonna go to conversation going forward, then Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Mauritania, all four Islamic states.
When you have a country
hold on.
like Iran and Saudi Arabia,
no, I don't even got to go to a whole bunch. I'm just saying the definition of an Islamic state is Islam is the official religion, and they follow partly or fully Sharia law. Now, hold on, stay right there. Now, if you want to say, well, this comes from the Quran and they don't do it specifically from the Quran, that's your definition of an Islamic state. But the world has a consensus definition for what it is. Just you saying it ain't, don't make it so. It just say it's an Islamic state that doesn't operate in a way that you agree. But don't just say it ain't no Islamic state.
Cuban, hold on, Brass. Hold on, Cuban. Do you really
y'all make y'all opinions the facts?
Cuban, do you and here's the thing, do you really in 2026 want a real Islamic state that's following the entire the Sunnah? Because even in the ones you're calling halfway an Islamic state, in a state like Saudi or Iran, you can marry 9-year-olds today in 2026 because of this dumbass Sharia law.
Rubbish.
So it's not rubbish.
That's bullshit,
Yes,
mate.
it is.
It's not rubbish. It's not
That's
rubbish.
bullshit.
You want me to get the
That's
facts?
bullshit.
I don't know, but
Get
it
it.
would be nice.
Pedophiles in America. Why don't you talk
It would
about
be nice at
the
some
Epstein
point if I could
files?
respond.
Just go get it, bro. Just go get it. Just go get
It would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
nice
I get
at
it.
some point if I could respond. That would be
You should be more
delightful.
worried about the Epstein files.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we about to get banned all the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cuban.
Okay.
Finish your shit.
So when I say what I say, it's not because I'm saying it for myself. I'm saying what I'm saying based on Islamic scholars. Because in the definition which you just read, that is what an Islamic state is. But there's a problem in that. Partial law or full law. So the law that they're talking about is Quran and the application of the Quran, which would be the Sunnah. So in that, let me finish.
Nobody's
So
talking.
In that, due to that definition, there's a problem. Because the religion teaches that I leave you these two things. And if you follow these two things, you will never go astray. The Quran and the Sunnah. So they're not an Islamic state. They're Muslims masquerading as an Islamic state, but it's not a real Islamic state. They, in Saudi Arabia, and not that long ago, they said women can't drive. Really? Women can't drive. But you then read the hadiths of the Sahabiyats that rode horses, partook in horse races, partook in archery competition on and off horses. So if the Sahabiyats, the companions of the Prophet, the females, could do that, then they can't do this today, riding the car, which would be the replacement of a horse. So they implement what's called bid'ah. And it's innovation, but it's from their culture. And they mix their culture with the religion. So when you see these weirdos in Afghanistan and Pakistan, they're playing with little boys and shit like that. That's of their culture, but that's not of the religion. So there's a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why nuance is important. But do I think that this existed? It's not, because it's evident. It's evident you got problems in Muslim countries. It's evident that the one that's considered the most Islamic country, which is the most holiest of the holies, Mecca, Saudi Arabia, they have problems. They're not defending the Palestinians. They're an Islamic state, then it's their duty as a Muslim to protect the blood of another Muslim. And they're not to compromise with Jews and Christians on that matter, or anybody, because the religion comes first. Not what a politician, not what a corporation wants or has to say. They're compromising, not following the religion. It's just not. Like this isn't.
You gotta follow the Sunnah, follow Muhammad, right?
To practice the religion.
Follow the prophet that married a girl at 6 and consummated it at 9, right? And that's why if you look at what I just put in the chat, you can see right there it's permissible to marry a 9-year-old in Iran. And the reason being is because their prophet married a 6-year-old named Aisha and then consummated it, which at 9 when she turned 9.
So here's the interesting
So
part.
if you
Since know
think,
so much about the religion-
if you brother,
No,
if
no,
you
no,
think
no, no.
that is-
I'm gonna
if you think that is okay,
Address that exact point.
I'm gonna
Before you start moving on,
I'm going
address
to
that
address it
point.
right now. I'm going
That
to address it right now.
Okay.
First of all, at that time in the world, it was common all over the place.
no, it wasn't. Not
Can
for
I
a
finish?
55-year-old man.
finish?
How old was
Can I
Muhammad?
finish?
55, correct?
And I finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It was common practice in the world for grown men to get with young girls. Is that my cup of tea? No. In this country, my adopted mother's grandmother, who was born in South Carolina, she died at 98 years old. In this country, married at 12 years old to a 36-year-old man producing 6 children. It was a common practice in cultures to do things. Again, that doesn't mean it has to be your cup of tea. Now, when you throw in countries that are
Did
then
you just
saying,
say in the United States it's common for a 36-year-old to marry a 12-year-old? I just want to
there
make
was
sure
a
that's
point
what
in
you just said.
time in this country
What
that
point in
young
time was
girls were
that?
getting
Stop.
married.
What time and point was that?
If she died in 87, 88, and she was 98 years old, subtract that to when she was 12.
Cuban, I need you to understand.
Oh,
even what you just described.
Wait. I don't want to get away from the point. I don't want to get away from that point.
So he's saying in 1907.
So in 1907, it was okay for, I just want to be clear on what you're saying. Is 1907, it was okay for a 36-year-old to marry a 12-year-old in the United States of America? I'm just asking. Because that's what you just said. So I just want to be clear on is that you? Do you want to change that or do you want to stay right there?
Yeah, he muted up. So I mean, I think he understands why that's not okay.
Yeah, y'all be saying these points.
Grandfather was a pedophile.
I don't think it was ever right in human history for a 55-year-old man, because that's the bigger part he's leaving out of it.
No. I never said that it was right. But here's the
thing. To be following the sunnah. Wait, hold on, Cuban. Because you're talking to someone that knows the religion. You have to think it's okay if you're following the sunnah. You have to think, because the prophet is the perfect example. How he lived his life was not something that was only supposed to be done for his time. He's supposed to be the example. He's the example. Okay. He is the example of all time. Wait, Cuban, please, because you're talking to someone that knows the religion.
Bro, listen.
He's the example of all time.
You got
so you trying to talk about it being common in his time? That's not even true, because you don't have 55-year-old men marrying 6-year-olds even during his time in 600 AD. You don't have that even then. He died. Hang tight. There's hadith.
Arabia, neighboring countries of who they were fucking at what age, right? So let me finish my point, because you got rambleitis. So the point I was getting at next was you then brought Iran into the situation. There's a problem there, since you know so much about the religion, right? Because I'm gonna get you another point in regards to the Prophet marrying Aisha at the age he married her in. So getting back to Iran, Iran's not a Muslim country. They're not even Muslim. They're 12. They're Shiite.
Shiites are Muslim.
So wait a second.
Shiites are Muslim.
Scholar.
They not what? They not what?
Hey,
Shiites are Muslim.
Wait a second. No, Sheikh's true. Sheikh true. Hold on. Let me come to the Sheikh. Right. So
hey, you know what, Cuban? Hold on. Pause for a second.
You would know that. What?
Pause for a second.
Did Joe say that the Iran was Muslims?
Yes. That's what I'm trying to talk.
Explain that.
Just let me say what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you keep saying all these wild ass statements, and then we supposed to just move past. I just want some clarity. when you
What's
when you make these statements. That's all. Take a second and explain how Iran is not Muslim. This is just 2
But
seconds.
that's what I'm trying to say right now.
Okay, go ahead.
So Iran are 12ers, right? The sect of the Shiites. For the example to be used of the Prophet ﷺ marrying Aisha at the age of and consummating the age of 9, right? They reject Aisha. The 12ers and the Shiites, for the most part, especially the 12ers, they don't accept Aisha. They don't accept Abu Bakr. They don't accept Uthman. They don't accept Umar. They don't accept Solomon Farsi. They don't accept Bilal. They only accept the people that's biologically related to the Prophet, who were Sahaba. But there were Sahabas that were not, and the majority was not related to them, but they were still Sahaba.
How are they not Muslim?
Because the Prophet
because Sunni Muslims,
I'm telling you right now,
because Shiites don't accept the Hadith, because they, I'm going to cut to the chase.
No,
because they don't.
Let me finish
my man, you need to let him talk, bro.
Let me finish my point.
Let him talk, man.
Damn. The Prophet ﷺ said in authentic hadith, he said, anyone who speaks bad about me or my Sahaba will be of the Jahannam. They will be of the hellfire. He said in authentic hadith, he said, to follow the Quran and my Sunnah, to follow the Quran and my Ahl Bayt, the family of the Prophet.
Let me get
He said in another narration about the same
messing
sect.
this whole show up, bro.
How am I messing the whole show up? You asked me a question about how they not Muslim, and I'm trying to explain to you because y'all don't know about it.
But you're not even trying. But you're not
Y'all know
trying to
about
speak in a language.
but you don't know
not
about a
trying to.
religion
But Cuban.
that's like 1,500 years old. But you can tell me about Tutankhamun, how many chicks he fucked in 1 year on the great night of.
When y'all explain stuff, bro, just it's sometimes y'all go so all around the board to explain something very simple. And then when we don't want to hear you are in the middle of talking, you go into other languages and this, that, and the other. And all we asking for is a 30-second answer as to why Iran is not Muslim. If you can't do that,
I know his perspective.
Hold on, stop. Hold on. If you can't, I'm trying to let Cuban do it because he did the one that said. Let him give his explanation first, and then everybody else can chime in. Cuban, in 30 seconds or less, in the simplest terms you can, for people listening in the chat and on the panel, why is Iran not Muslim? That's all we want. I don't want the hadiths and all that other shit. Just a simple explanation, bro. Simple. I'm about to unmute you. Go ahead.
Because their beliefs go against the 5 pillars and the 6 articles, the 5 pillars of Islam and the 6 articles of faith. Their beliefs go against the Quran and the Sunnah. That's why. And these are things that are considered major to minor. So major would be shirk, what they call binding partners to Allah. They say that Imam al-Mahdi, who they say was the 12th Imam, is greater than Allah. They denounce Sahabas. There's practices that they have implemented into religion, such as celebrating birthdays. That's not of the religion. And it's definitely not of the religion to harm yourself, whipping yourself and cutting yourself.
You sharing your screen? Keep talking to Cuban. I'm just talking out.
Those are some examples.
But now here's where we run into it, and I'm gonna go to Thunder before I go to you, True, because Thunder just you can share the screen. Here's where me and you, and I think a lot of times you say you're misunderstood. We all understand your personal opinion, right? We all understand how you are more strict to the religion than others, or you're more strict to certain rules. Even when we talk about hip hop, you're very strict when it comes to certain rules. But here's the challenge you're putting us, the bind that you put us in, Nate, is the world understands these places as Islamic states. Now, you cannot agree that they're Islamic states, but if we're talking about real time, real people, real countries in the present, we have to go forward with also the understanding of what the world is in order to look for a solution, if that makes sense. See, when we spend all this time in Kemet and Nubia and all of that, we can hypothesize on what it was, what it is, or this, that, and the other. But when we talking about 2026 and politics and war and global politics, there's an understanding that those are Islamic states, bro. So if you don't agree that they are, say that. But to then say they're not an Islamic state and then move as though they aren't with your solution, the rest of your solution don't make sense, because now we have to also agree that they're not Islamic states and they are. So let Thunder go in, but I understand where you're going, just so you clear. Go ahead, Thunder.
Oh, I don't have anything to add. I'm just.
Can you read at least the first bullet point?
Is Iran a Muslim
just to
country?
add on that they're Shiite
Your name
Muslim,
ain't Thunder,
not Sunni
Astro.
Muslim.
Is Iran?
As soon as he's done, bro. You only read bullet points in the sentence. He's only reading bullet points in the sentence, Astro. Let Thunder
hang on. Can I explain? Iran is a Shiite country. Saudi Arabia is Sunni, so they would be in conflict in religious beliefs. So
definitely, we agree on that.
Trying to explain it in that way.
Yeah, we agree on that. We agree on that.
Yeah. So
is Iran a Muslim country? Yes, Iran.
You could say it's a Muslim country, majority Muslim. There is Christians, there's Baha'is, there is Jewish people.
What the hell are you doing, man?
We thought you asked him a question, Thunder, the way you said it.
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
You said is Iran a Muslim country?
I
He's answering the
apologize.
question. Yeah,
I apologize. I'm reading the screen.
And he literally, and the funny thing is, he answered exactly what was next. Iran is a predominantly Muslim country.
Hey, I apologize to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what he just said.
Yeah. I apologize.
Everybody ain't looking at the screen. That's what it is. His name is Astro.
Astro, my bad. I'm sorry. Yes, Iran is a predominantly Muslim country. Islam is the official state. Damn. Islam is the official state religion of the Iran, and the vast majority of its people are Muslims, with most adhering to the Shia branch of Islam, especially the 12er Imamiyah school. Around 90 to 95% of the population are Shia Muslims, and 5 to 10% are Sunni Muslims. Only small minorities follow other religions like Christianity, Judaism, Zoroastrianism. The Iranian constitution even designates 12er Shia Islam as the state religion.
Okay. Good, George.
So
to add, I would like something, Thunder. Yeah, I want to add one more thing. So Cuban, I think maybe one day we do a show on the state of Cuba. I don't know how the hell you got involved with Islam and all this other stuff, but I would love for us to talk about Cuba and its state for the last damn near 60, 70 years, and what are the future propositions? What would you like to see done, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Y'all are some of the. Let me tell you something. Y'all in just discourse are some of the funniest human beings in the history of the world. The way y'all go about discourse with each other and then expect the shit to be peaceful is the funniest shit in the world. It's hilarious. But go ahead. Whoever wants to go next.
Are
there any new voices? Are there any new voices? Logic, Petty, Slade, anybody else? Top Dollar, anybody else want to chime in? Because we having a damn jihad in this shit right now. In the chat, about to kill each other too.
I can say something real quick, and then let y'all have it. Y'all insane. Y'all can go ahead and finish talking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say on the Iran bit and Shias not being Muslim. I understand fully everything that Cuban believes, because that's the common Sunni position. The fact that they reject certain hadith and narrations that Sunnis adhere to, they consider them to not be true Muslims. It's very much similar to how a lot of like Orthodox Christians or Catholic Christians don't see like Protestants as real Christians. They see them as heretics, right? Where we can see, a Protestant, a Baptist, a Catholic, Orthodox Christian, they are all Christians, right? They may have variations in what they accept and differences in their theologies here and there, but they are all Christians. And no matter whether one calls another a heretic and fake Christians, it really doesn't remove that fact. That's what you have mainly going on between Shias and Sunnis. But the funny thing about this, from the situation that's going on in Palestine, when Iran was banging on Tel Aviv last summer and dropping a bunch of bombs on that city, you had a bunch of Sunnis cheerleading Iran and what they were doing there, right? So when it comes to Iran being one of the few Islamic countries that actually have the balls to fight Israel and help the Palestinians, you know, they're one of the few. All of your fucking Sunni countries are too pussy to actually help the Palestinian people, to help their Sunni brothers, right?
Yeah.
But you got all this shit to say.
Rewind. Hang on.
You got all this shit. You got all this shit. You got all this shit to say.
You gotta let him finish.
You got all this shit. You got all this shit.
You gotta let him finish.
You got all this shit to say about Iran
home,
being a Shia country, but they were the ones actually trying to fight for real, and you guys were cheerleading them on doing it. So, like I said, a lot of this is just games. But even if we are only going to hold to the Sunnah, I'm gonna share my screen right now because I'm gonna show you what the Sunnah teaches. All right, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you.
Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know how
Astro, let him share his screen. You're gonna have all the time you want, and if you want to share your screen, brother, let him share.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
We run a TMI law around here. Go ahead.
Yeah, can y'all see it? Y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So this is Sahih Muslim. Yeah, I do. This is Sahih Muslim 1422. This is the book of marriage. This is regarding Aisha and her marriage to Muhammad. All Sunni Muslims adhere to this. This is a authentic Sahih Muslim source that Sunni Muslims adhere to. So they want to talk about Shiites and what they believe. This is what they believe. All right. So it says, Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, in parentheses, reported that Allah's apostle, who is Muhammad, Allah's apostle, whatever you see that, it's talking about Muhammad, married her when she was 7 years old. And he was taken to his house as a bride when she was 9. And her dolls were with her. And when he, the Holy Prophet, died, she was 18 years old. Now, I can get into other
Let's pick one more. Pick one more.
I'll just go to the very next one. It's going to say more of the same. It's just a lot of these ideas.
Something different outside of marriage and all of that.
He's trying to be a dickhead. That's his problem. He's trying to be a dickhead.
What do you?
He's gonna land in the next 2 minutes, Astro. He's gonna land in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah. Hold on, Astro. Brass. What exactly, what subject matter do you want me to pull out?
I'm looking at the man-woman relations, not marriage, but the woman, the freedom for the women.
Okay, so another example I can think of, and I'll have to stop sharing my screen and get that for you. Okay. There's an example where the Prophet Muhammad, he has a man who comes to him who tells him he just acquired a adult male slave, right? And he's worried about the fact that this male slave is going to be in the house with his wife, and he's afraid that this slave might end up getting horny for her or whatnot, right? And in Islam, there's a ruling that if a man sees a woman as a mother figure, right, it'll make it haram for him to have sexual thoughts about a mother figure. So Muhammad's solution to this issue, to this man, his solution, he told this man, make your slave suckle your wife's breast. That way she'll become haram to him. Because
so now,
in Islam,
the issue, hold on real quick. So now, because me being Christian, I have no leg to stand on criticizing somebody's book. But what I'm saying is, you're basically saying, but I'm also, as a Christian, wouldn't want strict Christianity ran in any nation of the world.
Exactly.
So
That's
your
my issue.
issue
I'm
is
saying,
your
I'm
issue is
saying I don't.
okay. I get your issue.
I'm not like, I don't have the super duper huge issue with this, but I'm saying this is a very dated way of life. And quite frankly, I don't even really think it's all okay for that time. But I'm saying none of this is really beneficial to 2026. If you're
Okay,
saying,
Astro, get his shit off. I got you.
yeah, you can speak up.
Got you, brother. Go ahead, Astro. Talk your shit.
Yeah. So he's bringing up history. So if you look at the first religion to give women rights, we could go to inheritance. We can go to look, basically he just pulled up just a bit of crap. I don't know if it's Islamic phobic or something like that, but has he actually read the history of Islam?
I've read the
No, just
Quran.
don't
And
argue. Why do you keep doing
when
that,
it comes to
Astro?
women's rights.
yeah, I've read the Quran and I've read the Hadith.
Yeah, okay. So no, but you were talking about history. Can you name the oldest university on earth?
He's still
Can
doing
you
it.
name and who?
This is a straw man.
Who gave
This
women
is
rights
a straw man.
in
This is a straw man.
Islamic? No, it's not a straw man. You're
Straw
talking
man.
about
Like
fucking
address
history,
the
and
point.
then when someone replies back to you, you just bringing
No,
up
like can we just
point.
stay on a point? Like
The topic.
this is a
What's
straw
that?
man. So let's stay on
listen,
topic.
What's the oldest university on earth? And who opened the oldest university on earth?
That's a non sequitur question. I'm sticking to the topic. Let's deal
No,
with
you're saying
whether or
about
not the
women's rights
hadith.
in Islam.
Let's deal
And
with
I'm
whether or not
correcting
the hadith I just pulled is moral in 2026. Let's deal with
Hadiths are
that.
just sayings. Maybe some hadiths are not authentic. You can't say every single
Wait,
hadith.
did you just say that
is
Sahih Muslim? Wait, what does
authentic.
Sahih Muslim mean?
If it's
What does
not in the
Sahih Muslim
Quran,
mean?
Sahih
listen.
means sound, but you have
Listen,
to.
if it's
Brother,
not in the
are you
Quran,
saying it's not an authentic hadith?
Authentic. It may
No,
It's
authentic.
authentic. It's Sahih Muslim. What are you talking about? It's authentic. And a lot of those narrations were from Aisha herself.
Are we about to make this a damn Muslim conversation?
Yeah, my bad. I don't mean to do it, but they're lying. They're lying.
This winter.
No, I think
I
Astro, Cuban, and Truist. I think we all agree that a strict following of the Quran in any country in 2026 would be problematic. And that's the overarching point.
So you're
Let's
saying
not argue.
Turkey, Egypt, Indonesia are places, and Dubai, places where there's a problem with strict
So they
Islamic
follow it 100%.
traditions. They follow all of them follow the traditions of Islam.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
Do they follow it 100%?
Yeah, if you go to the courts, they have
No,
Muslim.
in Dubai, they
actually
follow. I
them.
want to be clear. Hold on. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
When we make statements, let's be clear. So Dubai runs the strict, the 100% following of what's going on with the Quran.
Dubai, the Miami of the Middle East. Dubai, are you fucking serious? The Miami of the Middle East.
Yeah, Snoop just pictured himself. Snoop just pictured himself smoking weed in a hotel room in Dubai.
Yeah. But that's for tourists. It's got nothing to do with the actual people.
Yeah, but that's not strict.
You're saying that
that's compromising for money. That's compromising for wealth. That's not strict Sharia.
No. Cuban explained one thing. He was talking about Afghanistan. Most of their practices are cultural, not religious. That means before Islam, most of the stuff that they do, not letting women go to school, not letting women get an education, it's more cultural. It's not religious. I don't know where the fuck you're getting your bullshit from.
What are some of the more issues?
The Cuban explained it, but you didn't fucking listen to him.
What are some of the more issues with being a Muslim?
What do you mean?
Women's rights.
Okay, so I'll give you.
I'm not asking you, Astro. I'm reading the screen. So dress codes. Some people require hijabs in some countries.
Can you zoom that a little? Can you zoom in on that?
Zoom. Let me see. How do I
get to take it up maybe to like another 50%? Keep going. Okay, good.
We're good?
Appreciate
all right.
Yeah.
Women's rights. Debates sometimes focus on dress codes, gender roles in family and society. testimony and inheritance laws and traditional Islamic jurisprudence. Some Muslim majority countries enforce strict interpretations. Some, while many Muslim scholars argue for more egalitarian interpretations. LGBTQ plus issues, I don't think we even had to go through that. Apostasy.
Can I make it easy for you?
Apostasy.
Let them finish reading and you can make it
You
easy.
said,
I'm reading the screen. Hold on, man. Many modern scholars argue this is political. In early Islamic states, it was considered treason. Freedom of speech. Wow. Some interpretations support blasphemy laws, which critics argue conflict with modern free speech principles. Again, enforcement varies greatly by country. Political Islam versus secularism. Countries like Iran, Saudi Arabia have state systems based heavily on Islamic law. Other Muslim countries like Turkey and Indonesia operate more secular systems, right? So this is an argument against what you're saying. A lot of countries are more stricter than others. Is that fair to say at this point?
Yeah.
All right.
Good. Also, I want to just go in on Dubai real quick. So I looked up Dubai. Dubai runs a hybrid legal system that mixes Islamic law with modern civil and commercial law. This is a common misconception because the UAE is culturally Islamic. They're culturally Islamic, but legally more complex. So the way their legal system in Dubai works is this. They have a civil law from modern legal codes, and they have a Sharia law that only deals mostly in personal matters. So it's not a full theocracy. Sharia law is used in personal status law, marriage, divorce, inheritance, and child custody. That mostly applies to Muslims, but non-Muslims can often use civil courts of their own legal frameworks. Where modern law is used is business law, criminal law, banking, contracts, real estate, international trade. It's designed to operate as a global financial hub. The criminal law principles, historically, Dubai uses modern penal codes. Hudud, one of those punishments like amputation are not part of their practice. Their lifestyle law, alcohol is legal in licensed places. Tourists are allowed significant freedoms, and mixed gender workplaces are common. This would not align with strict classical Sharia governance. Islam is the official religion. The cultural influence is strong, but the government is not run by clerics like Sharia law says. Dubai sits like this. They're clearly in the middle. The reason why people think it's full Sharia is because legality is far more modernized. It uses Islamic law for family matters. Everything else is a modern legal system.
Over 1.9 billion
gives the
Muslims.
citizens more options.
Oh, let me say one last
sentence. Don't change the goalposts. It's not
let me say this one last
what you
sentence,
just said.
please.
Just what you just read out.
Hold on, Astro. Let me say this one last sentence. Over 1.9 billion Muslims practice their faith in different ways. All right, go ahead.
I got something I'd like to share whenever you guys are done.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Hey, somebody give Egg Beats the link, because you one of the spiciest finger puppets in the chat. Come on in here and talk to the people, bro. We ain't gonna kill you. He's real spicy. Read the chat. He's a spicy meatball. Go ahead.
Yeah, so and this will be the last thing I'll pull. This is from the Quran now. Last source was from Hadith. This is from the Quran. So I already know they're gonna argue with this, but they're gonna have to argue with Allah and what the Arabic says. This is Quran 434. All right. So let's start from here. And just so we're clear, this is the Sahih International Translation, one of the most commonly used English translations for the Quran. And I'm going to click on the Arabic word just so you can see that this is a proper translation of what I'm going to point out. All right. It says men are in charge of women, and then you see here in parentheses where it says right of, whenever you see parentheses, that is usually either the tasfir, or tasfir is usually like a commentator or an Islamic scholar that is giving you like context of what's being said. But the parentheses isn't indicating what the Arabic says. It's just like the tasfir commentator inserting something. By right of what Allah has given one over the other and what they spend for maintenance from their wealth. So righteous women are devoutly obedient, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. But those wives from who you fear arrogance, here is going to talk about what is called the 3 stages of divorce. In Islam, there are 3 stages of divorce. In the first stage, you advise them, right? These stages of divorce is when you're having like a disagreement or a severe falling out with your wife. You go through these 3 steps Allah is guiding you. The first thing, you advise them. Then, if they persist, this is step 2, you forsake them in bed, meaning you don't sleep next to her. You make her sleep somewhere else or you sleep somewhere else. You don't share a bed with her at step 2. And then finally, step 3, strike them. And then in parentheses, you see it says lightly. Again, the Arabic doesn't say strike them lightly. It just says strike them. But the tasfir puts lightly. But to me, it doesn't matter if you're striking her lightly or hard. You like, why are you being instructed to strike your wife?
That's
But
not.
if they obey you, once more, seek no means against them. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and grand. So now I'm going to go to the Arabic. I'm going to go to the Arabic. I'm going to go to the Arabic.
Hey, Astro and Cuban, y'all sit back and learn. Y'all should be taking notes
No,
right now.
no, he's no,
Sit back and learn. Quiet
He's-
down.
There's
I'm not
something
learning
that
off this
he's
one,
not
John.
telling you. I want to hear what he's going to
Quiet
say.
down. He's
Yeah.
teaching.
That was good. Pipe down, nigga. Pipe down.
Pipe down.
You go to the
I'm gonna let
Arabic.
y'all have the floor, bro.
Yes, when you go to the Arabic here, you can see right here the word. The word. Did you hear that?
Yeah, say in
No.
Arabic.
We can't hear it.
We can't. It's not coming. The audio is not coming across. But go ahead. Just say it. We good.
I don't speak Arabic.
Oh no, we
I
don't.
speak Arabic.
But
Arabic,
when you
Arabic.
if you were to come here to Quran.com yourself, pull up
Arabic,
chapter
Arabic,
4,
Arabic.
34. Hold on, brother. If you pull up the verse yourself and you click on any of these Arabic words, it'll recite the Arabic word here that you see on the screen, and it translate and finally strike them. And you can see it doesn't say strike them lightly.
Do you know how many Arabic?
Wait, hold on, brother. Hold on.
Fuck, he's not
It doesn't
letting
say
on talk.
strike. It doesn't say strike them lightly. But I'm saying even if it did mean strike them lightly, I don't think in 2026 we should be going as far as hitting our wives softly, hardly, or whatever the case. But I'm done here.
Peace to you, Shakir. Shakir killing us in the chat. Shakir actually hit y'all with some shit. Shakir said maybe I need to read it to him in Arabic. And
that's a.
I
If you
think
don't,
Shakir can read Arabic. He said no, but let's get his points because we ignoring the chat a little bit. Before
So
y'all
the
go back
thing
to
is,
war. Hold on.
can
It
get-
says Shakir said it's a 6th century book, you dumb mother. How you think people at the time taught how you think they taught just 100 years ago? Pure Black said at least we had empires under Islam. Vyasa said not sure on the current conversation, but a contribution of this is about women. Early Christianity churches were often headed by women, not men. Shakir says pull verses from any religion that you like and see how it is. And Egg Beats, you still ain't. I sent you a first link. You ain't joined the chat, so now I'm starting to think you're afraid. So I don't know who's next, but now that Cuban and Astro have been properly taught,
I just want to make
I'm
a
pretty
quick
sure
point.
one of y'all will say something.
So in Arabic, if you get one word, it could have 3-4 meanings to it. So him just pointing out one word, he didn't even explain the word, didn't even read the word out. So what are you supposed to believe? What is he teaching us?
Can't argue with
Doesn't
that.
even speak Arabic.
No, that's disingenuous. You know what the
How?
word
Well,
means.
if he
So
doesn't
you
understand
tell us
Arabic,
what the
Jeff,
word.
how's he
No,
going to
if he's
understand what
wrong,
the word means?
maybe
I
he
think
I
don't
just pulled
disingenuous
up a
understand.
make it is a whole
translation
conversation.
of
Maybe
it. I
he
just
don't.
pulled up the
Maybe he
Translation
don't
in
translation.
Arabic.
Hey,
understand.
we're
Hold
on
on.
You
Carnivorous
don't understand the
Podcast. Let
language.
Chef
How the
speak.
fuck are
Hold
you
on.
talking?
Chef is not somebody.
Hold
Chef
on.
Corey, they're not somebody got to fight to speak. It's their channel. Let them speak.
Listen, if you understand what the word means, Astro, just tell us. He always said he don't speak Arabic.
he can read it in English into Arabic, and we'll tell him what he's saying.
Is he correct or
I
is he
just pulled
wrong?
it up.
No,
I just pulled
pull
it
it
up on
up.
the screen. I just
Put it
had
in
it
the
on the
chat.
screen. It said what it meant.
He's got
You
to
know what?
read
You want
the
me to
word
chat
out in
GPT the
Arabic.
word? I'll chat GPT the word. You want me to do that?
Chat GPT, is that your source?
So
Hey,
there
Okay,
was
so
a
what is
happy
your
belated.
source?
So either
What
he
is
right
your
or he
source?
wrong. Either he right or he wrong.
What is your source?
there's
No,
a there's a had- there's
the
a hadith in
translation
which
is. It doesn't matter if he's hid or lightly hid, but what I said before is that a word in Arabic can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay, so what are you
20
saying
meanings.
it means?
It
What are you
depends.
saying it means?
It's content. So he's got to
Are
explain
you
the content
are
of the
you
word.
purposely ignoring us at
Is he
this
Yeah,
point?
standing
he
with
is.
white
He is.
people?
He's doing this
Or,
on purpose. He's doing
Yeah,
this on
I
purpose.
feel like
yeah,
you're doing that on
bullshit.
purpose. They asked you for the definition since you know, so tell us.
He just muted up. He's tapping out. What you got to say, Cuban?
well, I'm trying to pull this
Hey,
hadith.
Cuban, can you first say thank you for being taught? I'll go
Yeah.
on.
Right. So there's
Y'all getting beat by a non-Muslim during Ramadan. Y'all need to be ashamed of y'all.
no. First, okay. Tell me when y'all ready.
Go
Yeah, go
ahead,
ahead.
bro.
Okay, so in regards to this, from what I understand, there's a hadith in which the Prophet gives an example of this. And the example was, say, like,
Yeah, when he hit Aisha in her chest. I know what you're talking about. When he hit
no,
Aisha in her
that's
chest.
No, you gotta let true.
Yeah,
It's
go
true.
ahead.
It's true.
Sorry.
Let them go.
that's not what I'm gonna say, psychic. So he gave the example of tapping his lap lightly. So the striking meant like striking like a feather. Like the woman's flipping out on you. All right, sweetie. Okay. Like that's what that was implying. It wasn't talking about hitting the woman.
All
Are
right,
you
can
sure
we get
about
back to
that?
the two state? Are we gonna get back to that? No.
Yeah, we
And
about to
I
go
only
right back
pulled
to
that
that.
up because Brass was asking about women's rights. And
Yeah, I want to know the
just
women's
pulled,
rights.
yeah, I just pulled that up to show examples of
So
women's
you mean to
rights.
tell me, let me get this right. This is all, first of all, the original conversation, which I don't mind talking about this, but the original conversation was about the one state or the two state.
Yeah,
So
you said you
because
wanted an
I happen
Islamic
to
state.
say-
You said you
because
wanted
I
an
happen
Islamic
to-
state.
And I finish.
Yes, finish.
Because I happen to say that Muslims should run it. Now we're here. Okay, Jews should run it. That make you happy? Let's look at Torah.
No.
Wait. Christians.
No. I know where he's going. Let him go. I know where
Christians
he's
should run
going.
it. See,
I know where
this
he's
is
going.
the point. The point in what I'm trying to make is this: whoever runs it is going to be a shit show. That's my God honest opinion. Based on what we see today, whether they're a Christian, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Jew, it's going to be a shit show because it's business. I'm going to say it again. Zionism has to go. The same way if we live in
Islam got to
occupied
go.
Germany under Nazis. It's not
Islam got to
Germans
go.
got to go. The
Yeah,
Nazis got to go.
Islam got to go.
Zionism is not a
Extremism of
religion. What are you talking
Muslims
about,
got to
Thunder?
go. The
Islam got to
extremism
go.
of Christians got to go. The extremism got to go.
What's staying?
That's what I'm
You
saying.
done name 30 things
But-
that's leaving. I just want to know what's staying, bro. It's easy to sit there and go, this person got to go, this got to go, this got to go.
Extremism. The people who want the extremism, get them out. Let the Jew, let the Muslim, let the Christian stay. Let this person stay. But the extremists got to go. That's
Okay.
the problem.
Okay.
It's not the
Okay.
Jew and the Muslim and the Christian, because they live together and they like each other and they intermarry with one another. They have children with one another. They work together. They go to school together. It's the Zionist.
It's
So
the
if there's
Muslims.
50 million of them, then 50 million gotta go.
I think
But
every
let the other
Muslim got to
7
go.
million Jews stay that's not a Zionist.
I think every Muslim got to go. That's what I think.
I'm saying we have
Hold on.
multitude.
Let Thunder speak. What do you mean by that, Thunder? I don't know if you're being hyperbolic, but
I am
you
being
being-
I'm being extremely hyperbolic.
Oh,
That's all I'm
okay.
doing. Because if he's
Okay.
saying every Zionist is wrong and they got to go, then I'm gonna say every Muslim got to go.
Yeah, but Zionism is not a religion. That's the difference.
But when you start
I don't
trying
know
to
how many
separate,
times I gotta say this,
but when
brother.
you start, we understand one is the ideology. I get that. But when you
Yeah.
when you start saying we got to remove the Zions from the Jews, that's I don't even know how you're going to do that.
Okay, so
I
what
don't
about the
either.
Jews that are
It
not
sounds,
Zionists? What about the Jews that are not
it
Zionists?
sounds
You-
amazing. Hold on, it sounds amazing, right? It sounds
Yes, what about the
amazing.
Jews that are not
But
Zionists?
I don't think I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, how do you figure that out and where are they supposed to go?
Okay, so back to the
so
topic.
here's
Be
the
like,
way,
hold on.
Let him come to
I wasn't
Florida.
done. I just paused for a second. When we start talk, if you believe in one state solution or two state solution, you don't believe in anybody having to leave and go somewhere. But in the
No.
same token, what y'all are saying is, yeah, one state or two state, but the Zion has got to go. Now I'm asking the question, where the hell are they supposed to go?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
No, I
y'all.
never.
That's what y'all been saying for an hour.
No. I didn't say that. I
Well,
said,
Cuban. Okay, then stop. If you didn't say it, that ain't. If you ain't say that, then it ain't for you.
Before you went to Islamophobic comments, the topic was, what's the right of them to have a Jewish state? That you've got to realize a Jewish state. What's the population of that region of Palestine? So
You're
you have
saying they
50%
have no right
Muslim,
to a Jewish state?
20% Christian, 30% Jewish people.
And this is what I'm trying to get to, Grass. This is what I'm trying to get to, Grass.
Hang on, my
You
friend.
just say, hold on, Astro. Astro, we're trying to talk to you, but we don't understand you because y'all be talking and going through points. Y'all say 8 points. We still on the first one. You don't believe that Jews have a right to a Jewish state?
No, I don't. I believe they should all live together, and the Jews.
That's a yes or no
live
question.
by
Yeah, that's a yes or no.
hang on, you let someone talk.
Because you
You're gonna
said
let me
no.
answer what?
Wait.
Are you
You
gonna let me
said
answer?
no. I know. I want you to answer yes
You
or
didn't say
no.
no.
That's it. Yes
So
or
you're not
no.
gonna let me answer.
I just want yes or no. I don't want your explanation. I want yes or no.
You can just say yes or no over something like that.
Yes, say yes
You're
or no,
talking about
and then
a
explain.
population.
Start with yes or no, and then explain.
If it was just Jewish people, I would say yes. If there's Muslims and Christian
In the
people that
situation
also
we
live on the
talking
land,
about.
no, because each person.
That's crazy.
I gave the example of Lebanon. Christians abide
Oh,
by
he is
their law
answering it
when
right
they're in
now.
court.
He answering it.
You can't even
He just
bloody
gave you
let
a
someone
non-answer.
talk. You can't even
Go
let
ahead.
someone talk.
Go ahead, Astro.
No, you're not going to.
Okay, then don't. I'm not playing it. Look, say the crying for the baby, my nigga. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah. I'm not a nigger, so yeah.
You're right. I apologize. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay.
No. He's right. I apologize. Okay. Some people don't like that.
Yeah.
I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if it's a one state and each community live by their law, so the Jews, they have their Jewish law, the Muslims have their Islamic law, and the Christians have their law in a one state solution. Like how did Jews live in Damascus? How did Jews live in Morocco? How did Jews live in Iran? And they still follow their beliefs.
Yeah, but
you can't just say Jewish state when there's 40% of the population Muslim and you got 10% Christian. That doesn't make sense. That's what I was trying to point out.
Okay, I'm gonna explain why it makes sense. Because while you talk about how small in your eyes the population of Jews is in that region, at the end of the day, while that could be true in your eyes, what is also true is, in comparison to the rest of the world, that is where the most Jewish people are on the planet. Because Jewish people.
I think it's in America.
Hold on. You said no, it's not.
Jews in America.
Wait. Hold on. I got it right in front of me. Israel has the most Jewish people living in it. roughly 7 million, with the United States essentially neck and neck at a similar level, depending on the exact data set definition used. Either Israel is number one or the US is number one. So
Can I
again,
push back on that?
even
Can I push back on
Yeah,
that?
hey,
even
True,
wait, hold
I
on.
would love to hear your voice. Let True
That's
finish and then True
that's
go
not
in.
true.
No, let them
How many
finish first. Let them
Can I
finish first before you push
how
back.
many Jewish citizens? How many
Okay, so
Jewish
show me.
citizens?
Show me.
How many
So
Jewish citizens?
show me. Wait.
How many Jew
Wait
citizens are
a
there in
second.
Israel?
Wait a second.
You're
So
talking shit.
show me another country, right, outside of the US, in Israel,
Outside the
that
US.
has more Jews living in it than the two countries that I just read. Show it. Which country has more Jews living in it than 7 million in Israel?
You want to go back 100 years ago, or are you talking about right
Oh,
now?
I'm talking about in 2026. The
Oh,
solution is for today.
2026. Okay.
The solution is for today. We're
The
talking
solution
and discussing
would
a
be
solution for
one-state
today.
solution with every religious sect having their own law governed,
Okay,
like they do in
hold on,
Lebanon.
because
Christians have a separate law.
I really
Muslims have a
wasn't done
separate law.
talking. I really wasn't done talking, and I let you talk, and we heard you
Yeah.
say that like
You
5
said
times.
you said to me they
We
have
heard you say that
Israel
5
has the
times,
largest
bro.
population, but then you
We
went
heard
to
you say that 5 times,
compare
and
with
I'm
America.
just clear. I'm clearing
That's
up.
true. Hey, Truist, both of y'all stop for a second. I just want to hear Stu P's point. Stu P, say your point real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. When he brought up 7 million, he's being disingenuous because Israel is like Florida to people in Jersey, right? To Jews in New York. They go to Israel to retire. So a lot of the people there are actually Americans who retired there or Russian citizens who retired there. Again, also, there's a large population of Jews in Israel, dual citizenship, meaning they call themselves Israeli, but they really enjoy the fruits of New York. And they are busy and the snowbird by the services. The 7 million number is disingenuous, it sounds, but Israel is primarily a state. But I'm not going to tell you that. That Israeli travel all over the world. Look, it's too hot there. They don't really like it there, but they like having a state. But I'm finished there. He's been disingenuous. If I wasn't busy, I'd come and take him on. But I hope so by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's still on. Because I need to step in truth again.
Okay.
So I'm being disingenuous because I'm looking at data, I'm looking at stats, and I'm seeing stats say there's 7 million there, and I can't find a single country outside of the U.S. that has a comparable amount of Jews living. Like I'm somehow being disingenuous because I'm going with mainstream. Wait, hold on, because I'm going with what the mainstream data suggests. Like I feel like I'm having the wait. Hold on. I feel like I'm having the black. I feel like I'm having the Black Egypt conversation even in this one because anytime I'm just going with what the data shows, everyone's got these wild conspiracy theories of how numbers are being lied to us about.
Stop. No, let me ask you. Let me ask you some questions because I'm figuring you out. Don't let stupids giving you attention. I'm figuring you out. And the more I hear you talk, the more I realize that you're lacking. I'm figuring you out and I'll call you out because there's something not right about you. I'm telling the audience, and you know stupids, that stupids will call you out. There's something not right about you. But the more you talk, the more you expose yourself.
Jesus
Question number one.
Just attack the speaker because you can't attack the point, right? Don't deal with my argument. Try to assassinate my character. Like I said, every time I'm figuring you out, your tactic is to patronize people so you don't have to deal with their arguments. I'm figuring you out. That's what you're all about. Patronize the person you're speaking to so you don't have to deal with the arguments they're killing you on.
No, I don't allow snakes in my mix.
That's cool. I beat snakes. Listen, brother, I don't have to add hominem to you because I can deal with your argument.
You feel like a snake. You feel like an infiltrator.
That's cool.
You feel like an infiltrator.
That's cool.
And black groups must be aware of this.
Whatever.
I want to be with them for years. You're an infiltrator. But I'll soon find out. I'll soon find you out. Just give him a time. I'm not asking any more questions. Matter of fact, I won't have a
Collaborator. He
conversation.
sounds like a
I will listen to
collaborator.
Yeah.
He sounds
Hey,
like a
hey,
collaborator.
hey, Truist, be careful. That
Yeah.
nigga walk you down.
Yeah.
But you
He sounds
you're
like
around the corner from him telling you he gonna walk you down.
Yeah, like
Be
So,
careful,
so
bro.
now, now we got a
like
new
I
one. We
said
got
earlier,
collaborator
Cuban,
and we got
I don't take
Infiltrator.
none of this personal.
Infiltrator.
Yeah, I don't. It's cool. Like
Call that
Suki's,
man
like
an
even though
infiltrator.
even though you said all that, you
Yeah.
called me a snake, you called me an infiltrator.
Yeah.
I don't have no
No,
problem
I
with
call
you,
it,
brother.
yeah.
Infiltrator.
This is friendly discourse for
Yes.
me. I'm
Hey,
not taking
No,
none of
not
it
friendly to
personal.
me.
hey, hold on. I want to make a statement
I
real
have
quick.
no friends.
We get it, Truist. We get it, Stu. That's entertaining, but y'all all making good points. I don't want to sully the show. We might have to move to a different topic if y'all got one. Chef, someone said first they said you need to clean your clippers. They too loud. Then it says this argument of Palestine support your argument. It says same biology can be ethnically different. What are they talking about?
I have no idea. They rabbit.
That's from yesterday.
I think what that comment means is that because they're an example of what me and Chef was talking about yesterday. So they're a group that have the same biology. However, because of their different history, they're ethnically different. You know, so
Okay.
you see what I'm saying? So like, yeah, a Jew and a Palestinian, they might have Levantine biology. However, due to the Jews having a shared history of leaving out the land, that common experience makes them a different ethnicity than the Palestinians that stayed.
Okay.
No, I think they have a different language, a different culture, different religion,
Yeah.
different origin story. You dig what I'm saying? Even if they remained there for the last 2,000 years, they still will be ethnically different for all of the things that I just mentioned. Even though their origin story is a myth, but the fact your origin story can be a myth in your ethnicity. Most ethnic groups' origin stories are myths. You know what I mean? It's what they make up about themselves. So
Yeah, because when you look at what the Jews believe about themselves, ultimately, they believe they come from a man named Jacob, who comes from Isaac, who comes from Abraham. And Abraham is somebody who came from like Sumer, which is in the Far East. So their genetics don't really show any like Far Eastern component to it. Like if they really
no, Sumer wouldn't be Far East. That would be Mesopotamia.
No, I thought Sumer would be modern day like Iran/Iraq.
Yeah, that's Mesopotamia. That's not
Yeah,
the
but
Far
that's
East.
definitely
The Far East would be China.
Oh well,
That's
yeah. Sorry,
regional DNA. They do have that.
Yeah, my bad. I don't mean that, but it's definitely not Levantine, right? Like their genetics show.
There's a component. The component in Levantine DNA, probably 30% is from Iran and Iraq that we share with them. So that's wrong. I think you're wrong.
We'd have to look at that closer because genetics.
I already know.
I'm telling you, Astro. Genetics show that modern Palestinians and modern Jews, their Levantine component is more tied to like the people we would call the Canaanites.
Yeah, but the Canaanites themselves had Iranian-like DNA going back 3,000 years, and Southern Caucasus. That's when the J came in, J2, J1. Y chromosome. So they do have it. They do share DNA with people from Iraq.
Yeah, but the people from Iraq they share DNA with, they have a common ancestry, right? It's not that the Canaanites came from Iraq. That's the point. It's
more Amorite DNA. So
it's coming from the northern Eurasian area.
Northern Levant.
I think
Levant is more
Levant. We heading towards Egypt. It's coming.
Yeah. But Astro, I think we agree. I agree. The Canaanites and the like Indo-Aryan people that end up in Iran, they have a common ancestry in the northern Levant. But what I'm saying is the Jewish story is that Abraham, who comes centuries after that, was a man who was residing in modern day Iran, Iraq, made a pilgrimage to the Levant, and then from there have Isaac, who then has Jacob, and then has the 12 children of Jacob, right? So I'm saying if that's
if you
true,
look at genetics,
along
the
with
Canaanites,
Ishmael.
the Canaanites come from the Amorites. The Amorites lived between the Levant and Mesopotamia, and even the Mesopotamians, they wrote about the Amorites. So, and that's northern Levant around. It's just regional DNA, but they do have that component.
yeah, but
And
but
all
northern Levant
modern
is not
modern Palestinians have that.
but northern Levant is not Iran, Iraq. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
it's northern Mesopotamia. Northern Mesopotamia.
but we're talking about
people travel.
Mesopotamia like Mesopotamia is small. Mesopotamia was large. And I'm saying the part of Mesopotamia the Amorites is from is not Iran, Iraq. It's a different
I just
region.
said to you, are you listening? I said to you between the Levant and Mesopotamia, in the middle, where Syria, I think the two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. That's
I
where the
agree,
Amorites,
but the Canaanites,
the Sumerians wrote about the Amorites. So the Jewish people, they'll descend from the Amorites. So the Canaanites are related to the Amorites. They're all the same. It's regional DNA. Modern Palestinians
yes, but the
share DNA
Canaanites
with Iraq.
the Canaanites would descend from the Amorites that walked south down the Levant. The people in Iran would descend from the Amorites that went southeast or eastward, right?
No,
So they have the same
we're talking about
starting point.
You're talking about Iran. I'm talking about Iraq. Nothing to do with Iran. Iran, they speak a completely different language.
Where was Sumer?
We're talking about the Persians. We're talking
But
about
where was
Mesopotamia,
Abraham? Where
northern
was Abraham?
Mesopotamia, southern Mesopotamia. They all share similar DNA.
Where
And
was
this is modern
Abraham from,
populations.
sir? Where was Abraham from?
Uruk.
Okay,
That's
where
what
was
they say.
Where was Where was
Chaldea.
Where was modern day
Southern
would
Iraq.
be where?
Southern Iraq.
Okay, is that anywhere near the Levant or the northern part of the Levant even?
It's between them.
Wait, what?
Oh my God, bro. You're saying Iraq is near
Wait,
the Levant?
who jumped in and said something? Who's that said something?
I'm saying to you, it's regional DNA. You're saying that modern populations of the Levant don't share DNA with modern Iraqi people, which is bullshit.
I'm saying the modern Jewish people, they share a common ancestor with the modern with Iranian people. They have a common ancestor in the northern Levantine Eurasian area.
What are you saying,
I'm
Iran?
saying,
Hey, let me
Jesus
table both of y'all. What the hell do this got to do with what we talking about? That's what I
because
want.
Sheffer made a comment about how like some people's origin story is a lie, and I'm agreeing with him. I'm saying based off of genetics, right? The Jewish origin story, it doesn't seem plausible, especially like I didn't even get to this point. According to Noah's sons, right? The Jewish people come from Shem. Canaan is supposed to come from Ham. So they see themselves as a different lineage than the Canaanites. But genetics suggests that they are the same people as the Canaanites genetically. You see what I'm saying? So even from that perspective, their origin story seems a little off because even linguistically, Hebrew has a Canaanite script. So from the language to their genetics, it all points to Jewish people coming from a sect of Canaanites. But their origin story in the Torah makes it seem as if they're a different lineage of people from Ham, while they are from Shem.
No,
See what I'm
you're
saying?
wrong. You're wrong, mate.
Okay, point that.
What
Explain
I
now.
was trying to explain to you is that all modern Levantine people, this includes Jewish people, have a portion of their DNA that's similar to people in Iraq. That's what I was trying to explain to you.
Yeah, and I'm saying
So
that's because they have a
try to
common
separate
ancestor.
the Levant from Iraq, it doesn't work because they're borderline populations, so they're genetically very similar. Even modern day Lebanese,
because they have a common ancestry in the northern Levant. That's what I'm saying.
That region. That's what I was trying to explain to you. When you say that when you say Levantine DNA, you have to include Iraq because that's that's partially their DNA. That's going back
No,
4,000 years ago.
There are genes that have developed in the Levant exclusive from the ones that developed in Iraq, Iran.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong, my friend.
Okay.
See,
Gullah, can you help out Gullah? I'm sorry.
Hey, them the same damn people because the Acadians
3,000 years ago, there was a migration from southern Caucasus and
the
Mesopotamia
Acadians
into
migrated
the
from
Levant.
the Levantine to that region. Like so the Semitic speakers that's in Iraq, they come from the Levantine area, originally.
Yeah, but Gullah, don't you? During the Middle Bronze Age, there was a migration from northern Mesopotamia into the Levant, that Caucasian hunter-gatherer mixture. That's what I was trying to explain to him. Into the ancient Canaanites.
Oh yeah.
Listen, man. Listen.
That's what the early Middle Eastern.
I think we're talking around each other on the genetics part. Can we agree to this? According to the Torah, right? The Israelites, they come from Shem, and the Canaanites come from Ham. Correct?
I don't believe in that. So I'm
not asking you what you believe, bro. I'm not asking you what you believe. See, I think you just want to fight, bro. I think you just want to fight. What do you
want me to say to you?
I'm asking you, what does the Torah say?
I'm not Jewish.
Now you're not Jewish. You know all this shit about Jewish history up until this, but now you're not Jewish. What does the Bible say? What does the Torah say?
What does it say? You tell me. You said they came from.
I'm telling you, Noah had 3 sons: Ham, Shem, and Japheth.
Ham and Shem.
Ham's one of Ham's sons is Canaan.
Yeah.
Right. That's the one Noah put the curse on. Curse be Canaan. Okay. The other son, Shem is the ancestral father of Abraham. Abraham has Isaac. Isaac has Jacob. Jacob is Israel.
So do you believe that?
No, that's my point. I don't believe it.
Okay, so you don't believe in that.
That's my point. But I'm telling you, that is their story. And Chef
that's
said,
their story. We're talking about the genetics. We're talking about genetics.
Brother. Chef made a point that some ethnicities of people have origin stories that aren't true. And I'm saying, Chef, I agree. An example of that is the origin story the Jewish people have for themselves according to the Torah. And for some reason, you want to fight just for no reason.
No, I'm fighting. No. What I was trying to explain to you is that modern Jewish people, Mizrahi, Sephardic Jews, even Ashkenazis, they do have a component from Mesopotamia. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, but you're not listening. You're saying to me they have
I feel like we're talking past each other.
DNA. That's not true.
All right, I'm good, bro. You got it.
Hang on. I'll post it in the chat.
Okay, post it in the chat. Corey, can you come off mute or no? Are you busy? Anybody else got anything on it, or we can switch the subject or end the show?
Can I have one
Free Palestine.
No, I think that they ran over the
keep
point.
talking about genetics.
I'm mad that they ran over the point that he pulled up some hadith saying that the prophet married a 7-year-old and moved her into his house when she was 9 years old with her dog. Was that correct or was that wrong?
No, it's correct.
We already came to the understanding. Astro, he doesn't want to address that.
No, but that's what Cuban wants, though. Cuban wants that, and he wants the Zionists to go live in the ocean.
My issue was I don't authentic hadith.
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
And Cuban explained it.
He doesn't think a Sahih Muslim source is an authentic hadith, guys.
Who doesn't think
that?
That's
Astro's position. He doesn't think a Sahih Muslim source is authentic. That's his position.
But I thought that's what the word Sahih meant.
That's exactly what it means. But that's Astro. That's the Sunni Muslim for you guys.
Muslim scholars, the final word is from the Quran, not hadith. Hadith can be wrong.
Okay, so then what's wrong with Shias then? Because Shias follow the Quran.
Hadiths can be wrong.
That's a political
No, they don't.
conversation.
Now we getting somewhere. Now we
Hang on. So you're saying they follow the Quran? Is that right?
The
Hang on.
Quran
You're
is all
saying they
you
follow the
need.
Quran?
If the Quran is all you need, what's wrong with Shias then? Because they adhere to the
Quran's-
Quran.
The Quran says that there's the messenger of God is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Shiites.
So then you need hadith.
Hang on, let me talk. You're gonna fucking let me talk. And
Okay,
the
go ahead.
Shiites, they say Imam Ali is the messenger of God. So practically, they don't follow the Quran. So yeah,
Do they say he's the messenger or a messenger?
ask Cuban. Ask Cuban.
Because
They
I
say
know
he's the
for a
messenger
fact
of God. They
Shias.
say alayhi was salam to the Prophet's cousin, which he's not the messenger of God. The Prophet Muhammad is the last messenger in the Quran.
Brother, there's
if you
multiple
say that, you're not a
messengers.
Muslim
There's multiple messengers in the Quran. Isa was a messenger. Musa was a messenger. Okay,
Yes.
there's multiple messengers. There
Where's
isn't
Ali's
one
name in the
messenger.
Quran?
There isn't
Ali's
one.
name?
There
Where's
isn't
Imam
one.
Ali's name?
Brother,
Imam Ali's
he
name is not in the Quran.
That's true.
Jesus, bro.
No,
When Shias call him, when they call him the messenger of God, they're not claiming he's the only messenger. They're not rejecting Muhammad.
My friend, in Arabic they say Ali alayhi was salam. That means when you say Prophet alayhi was salam, they're claiming he's the messenger of God. He's one of the messengers after Muhammad.
He's
That
one
goes
of the
against
messengers.
Islam.
They claim he's one of them, not that he's
But
the
that's
only
the-
one.
That's true.
Quran
That's
says
the
Muhammad
thing,
is the
it's
final
no
messenger. Are you understanding?
Islamically, there's no messenger after Muhammad ibn Abdullah. So even when you look at messenger,
Does the Quran call Muhammad the final messenger or the seal of the prophets?
I'm about to explain that to you if you just let me talk.
Go ahead.
So you have the word prophet, Nabi. Messenger is Rasul. There's a difference. Prophet prophesizes. A messenger prophesizes and receives revelation. So it means that you, in order to be a messenger, you have to be a prophet. You could be both. But certain people were just prophets. So by it saying that he's the seal of the prophets, and what was revealed to him? The Quran. Boom, that's it. There's nobody after him.
But why did he get the right to marry a 6 or 7-year-old?
And calling him the seal, it doesn't necessarily mean he's last. It means he's the glue that brings them all together. He's the one that puts
Okay,
all
so then let me ask you
together.
this. If there was a messenger after Muhammad ibn Abdullah, who was it?
I'm
And
not,
what
brother, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in none of this. But I'm
Okay.
telling you, for within the Quran, I'm saying when it calls Muhammad the seal of the prophet, the intention is to say he's the one that brings all of the prophets of God's message together.
So all Muslims are wrong and you're right in the definition?
No, I'm telling you, Quranically, right? Quranically, that is what the seal of the prophets mean.
So are all Muslims wrong in understanding the definition, but you're right, including the
I'm
Arabs?
saying we can
No, Muslims are not being honest. Is what
You're
he's
not
saying.
being honest, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Really? All right, I'm
You're
going
not.
to the Quran right now.
That doesn't make sense.
You want me to go to the Quran? I'll go to the Quran. You ready?
No, because we can all agree on
Oh, let me turn
definitions.
this
Like
light on so I can read properly.
I'm saying, like if whether we speak Arabic or not, can we all agree on definitions? Y'all acting like because people don't speak Arabic that there's no way to find out what this shit means. Like, come
The
on,
language is
that's what I'm
important
saying.
because the words can have multiple meanings, and it has to be in what
But
context.
what
are
does
you
it mean
using
in context? Context, no, context would tell me. So you're telling me that he can't read and get the context and understand what that shit means without
Okay,
having
so
to
then
learn
my
Arabic.
question is, if he has context, then what tafsir is he taking from? What scholar is he taking from? What hadiths is he using to validate it?
He's using Muslim interpretation.
Brother,
No, he's
Quran.
using
So
Muslim
all that has to be,
translation.
you can't just read
Hey,
one
Cuban,
thing
listen,
and you
Cuban,
say, oh, look,
Cuban,
I read this and
Cuban.
it means this. No, it doesn't work like that.
Hey,
It doesn't.
Cuban, he's using Muslim translations and Muslims explaining what the shit means.
Yeah,
Y'all
he's trying to
disagreeing.
say that the
So y'all
religion.
saying the Muslims who know Arabic, who's translating it for us and telling us what it means, y'all saying that they wrong too.
And I'm saying,
No,
Isonic,
that's
I'm not
not what.
saying every Muslim on the planet is wrong. I'm telling you what Shiites believe. The reason why a Shiite could feel as though there was another messenger after Muhammad is because that is how they interpret the name being the seal of the prophets to Muhammad. They see it as he was the one that brought all the prophets' message together, and that the prophet that comes after him, right? He's not replacing Muhammad. He's not replacing the prophets that came before Muhammad. He is just a continuation of the same message. That's how Shias see it. It's not that he's the only prophet. There's multiple prophets even before Muhammad.
Okay, so I'm very well acquainted with Shiites, right? I'm very well acquainted with differences in Shiites. So I know why they take their positions, but their positioning to their reasons is flawed, is what I'm trying to get
I
at.
think all of you are flawed. I think anyone that thinks a man getting married to a 6-year-old is okay is flawed, personally.
6-year-old.
You keep talking about that. I'm not talking
He's
about that.
obsessed with it.
I'm not, listen.
But it has to be addressed.
It can't be addressed if you're biased. I'm being honest. If you're
I'm
biased,
not biased.
and you don't- I'm
Any
not talking to you right
century.
now, I'm not talking to you
Wait. Go ahead, guys, Sonic.
it can't be addressed if you're biased. And if you don't read all the material and see from all point of views and what's being said, you can't see the contradictions. You're choosing one side in order to attack the religion. So at the same time,
So
Chef,
what's the other side?
hold on,
So
Chef,
what's the other side?
let me ask you a question, Chef.
Go ahead.
How old was her sister's age when
Huh?
she
I
was?
don't know.
Yeah. Okay, then the topic's done on that. You don't know the full.
No, so tell us.
Why does that
Hold on.
matter?
So tell us, right? So tell us how old her sister was.
No. What I'm saying is
That
we
make
deviated from the original
Aisha not
conversation.
7 years old.
We deviated from the original conversation to attacking the religion without understanding the full conversation and topics of it. So then, what is the point of having this conversation?
No. If you got something to add, we're saying add it. Give us context.
What I'm saying is the information is out there. If you want to learn one side,
Oh,
you want to read
Lord.
the other side before you come to the table.
Yo,
I
so
asked you
tell
what-
us,
what-
bro. So tell us.
Tell you what? How about
Tell
you go
us.
research it?
Tell us what about her sister's age makes it okay in any century for a 55-year-old man to marry a 7-year-old and then consummate it at 9.
The conversation
You
changes
tell
when
us.
You find out. The conversation changes when you find out how old her sister was.
What does that? Aisha clearly.
Wait. Can you explain it though? Can you then okay, we don't know. So is it okay if you explain it or you can't explain it?
Her age changes when you find out how old her sister was at that time. So she becomes older. That's the thing. If you don't learn all the sides,
How does she become older? How does she become older if the sisters explain that? I'm curious.
Her sister is 10 years older than her, so at the timeline it will put her more in the age 17 range than the 6 and 9-year-old. So if you don't
Wow, I thought. Wait, guys, stop, please. Wait. Chef, I got this. I got this. I saw it.
Died when Aisha was 18. That makes no fucking sense.
It's Shefford. On top of that, he's calling Aisha a liar because Aisha said in her own narration of a hadith, she said that she was 7 when he married her, and she said he was 9 when he consummated it when she's playing, and she said that the prophet died when she was 18. So are you calling Aisha a liar? Because that's what she said.
I'm saying you're not having an objective conversation.
I'm having an objective.
Y'all having a meltdown, right?
I'm not having a meltdown. I just try to tell you some of the whole material. Chef, you just want to attack Islam. I know that. If you want, go ahead. You're not being objective at the end of the day.
I'm mute now. I'm a mute out.
Hey, what's the name of that hadith? Just give me a second. What's the name of that hadith?
I'll get you. I'll get you.
Yeah, just give me the name of it. I need to know what's going on because I hear. I want to be respectful because it is somebody's religion, and I understand that y'all mopping the floor with Cuban right now. But Sonic isn't my friend, and I if he's making a statement, I at least want to hear it out. Cuban has just been getting beat all across the face, and it's sad. But go ahead. Anybody else want to go in on it?
Brad's about to be reciting hadiths.
Yeah, I'm about to recite a
Alhamdulillah.
hadith, man. I'm about to recite a hadith.
Alhamdulillah, yo.
Because he's making a point, and I know as a Christian, a lot of these stories sometimes I understand what Isonic is trying to say. I'm not saying it's going to make a lot of sense or it's going to change the narrative, but without all the full context, I would like at least some more context. So
while you do that, I want you to like search up how old her sister's age was. Her name is
yeah, that's what I'm about to do. That's what I want to get.
So Brass,
Brad, you gonna be on the 049 glyph and the utterances pretty soon, bro. You keep this up.
Bro, ain't nobody else moderating. I gotta try to figure out how to move this thing going.
I'm trying to clean up so I can get out of here for the day, man.
No, I know what you doing. I'm just saying.
I'm happy that you're available to do it because they couldn't have convinced me to do it. I'm glad you do it. You're doing a great job. You keeping the show going. You doing good.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, 1 second. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so one you could use, not only some of these hadith is Aisha talking directly. The one I read earlier, it's in the chat. That one was from Aisha herself. But all of these are Sahih and authentic and are a part of being a Sunni.
So which one is?
All of these are authentic. All right. These
I
are
need
all
the one with
part of-
Aisha though. I need the one with Aisha.
Well, with Aisha, I put that in the chat. But hold on. I'll go right here.
Just tell me the number.
Yo,
I'm having
this
some work
stuff is
down in
so
my
wild
house.
that my chat GPT was like, this shit is violating our terms of use. That's how wild this shit is. But right here. We go. It was 1422A. All right, so this is Sahih Muslim 1422A, the Book of Marriage. You can pretty much read this whole hadith because this entire thing is dealing with her marriage to the Prophet. And this is her speaking because it says, Allah's messenger married me. So this is how you know this is Aisha speaking and narrating. Allah's messenger married me when I was 6 years old, and I was admitted to his house at the age of 9. She further said, we went to Medina, which is in Saudi Arabia, like the northern part, and I had an attack of fever for a month, and my hair had come down to the earlobes. Rahman, my mother, came to me, and I was at the time on a swing along with my playmates. She called me loudly, and I went to her, and I did not know what she had wanted of me. She took hold of my hand and took me to the door, and I was saying, ha ha, as if I was gasping, until the agitation of my heart was over. She took me to a house where there had gathered the women of the Ansar. They all blessed me and wished.
Get the fuck out of here is all I can do now.
They all blessed me and wished. They all blessed me. They all blessed me and wished me good luck and said, may you have share in good. She, my mother, entrusted me to them. They washed my head and embellished me, and nothing frightened me. Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, came there in the morning, and I was entrusted to him. You can keep reading. I'm not going to read y'all to death, but this whole narration from Aisha herself, it's explaining the context and situation around her getting married to him and how old she was. She was still playing with dolls. She still had playmates. She was clearly a child. So this is why I'm saying, like, Isonic, I hear you, but you would have to be calling Aisha herself a liar. You would have to say Aisha didn't know how old she was.
Yeah, I think Isonic was talking about Asma's age compared to Aisha's age. I just looked it up now.
God damn them Clippers, Chef. God damn.
Yeah, I know what Isonic's saying, but he's saying because of her sister's age, that kind of indicates somehow maybe Aisha was older than she narrated.
Because
And I'm
I
saying
think she died in the Battle of Yarmouk. So Yarmouk is a documented battle. So for her to die at that age, and she was involved in that battle, they would know her age. So, and it's saying the alternative, she could be 13 to 19, going by Asma's age. That's what Isonic was trying to say.
I know that's what he's trying to say, and I'm saying you would have to say that the Sudi sources is lying because that's a Sudi source.
Hadiths can be hard to translate, so I gotta look into. I've never really
here we
looked
go
into
with
it.
the magical Arabic. The magical Arabic. It's not saying what it's saying. It's saying that, but it's not saying it.
No. Listen here.
Bro,
You brought up a word. You brought up a word that could have. You brought up a word and said, "Oh, it could have this meaning and that meaning." That's
I didn't say it could. I said this translation we have on the screen.
Don't change the subject. You brought up a word and you said lightly hit or hit hard, and you said in Arabic you can translate it that way. You're just giving your fucking opinion.
I didn't. I said it's. I had it on the screen.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all have any arguments about the numbers? Is the numbers being translated wrong? Or is there different words for the numbers? 6, 7, 9, 19,
to know exactly.
Are they issues with the numbers? Can we translate the numbers correctly?
Right.
It's like you have to be calling the woman herself a liar. I think she knows if she was still playing with dolls or not. I think she knows if she. I think she knows that she still had playmates. I think Aisha had a good idea of how young she was, what she was doing still, because in Islam, right? A girl, once she becomes a woman, once she becomes of age, she is not supposed to be playing with dolls anymore in Islam. So the fact that Aisha was playing with dolls lets you know she didn't even hit puberty yet.
Is that in the Quran? Is that in the Quran?
It's hadith.
It's hadith. So you're bullshitting again.
How am I bullshitting? You're Sunni, right?
In Islam,
are you Sunni?
You're quoting hadith to say
hadith is
that's
Islam.
In the fucking Quran.
Hadith is Islam. Wait.
Yeah.
Are you saying hadith is not Islam?
Hadith is not Quran. Do you understand? Or you not
I see you're playing. You're playing. Is it Islam? Is it Islam? Is hadith Islam?
Is not something the final word is the Quran. Is that in the Quran? If it's not in the Quran, don't open your fucking mouth. And that means you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So guys, I want you to observe something. So 2 hours ago, right? These are the people that said Shias are not real Muslims because even though they follow the Quran, they don't follow the Sunnah. They don't follow the Hadith. Now 2 hours later, oh, the Sunnah, the Hadith, it's not Islam. It's the Quran that's Islam. You got to make your mind up. Does the Hadith count or does it not count? Which is it? Make your mind up.
There's a difference between Hadith and what's in the Quran. The Quran is the final word. Hadith is like saying that person, like when you read the Bible, Matthew, John, that person said that. It's all he say.
Matthew and John is a part of the Bible. Matthew and John is a part of the New Testament. What are you talking about?
He's up on the jihad.
You made a fucking statement that's not in the Quran.
That means you too. He's up on the jihad. Let's not get the conversation hung up on simple stuff.
No, he's just making up shit as he goes along.
I hear you, bro, but this is easily explained. The Hadith is not the Quran. The Quran is the central holy book of Islam, believed by Muslims to be the literal word of God revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. It is the highest authority in Islam. The Hadith is collections of sayings, actions, and approvals of the Prophet Muhammad. They were recorded by followers after his lifetime. They explain how to interpret and live according to the Quran.
Right.
So the Quran is a direct revelation. The Hadith is recorded traditions.
So he's conflating what I'm saying. I never said that the Hadith is the Quran. I never said the hadith was the Quran. I said the hadith is a part of Islam because it is. When it comes to Islam, right? People that practice the religion of Islam, they have the Quran, which is your holy book, and then you have, if you're a Sunni, if you're a Sunnah, Sunnas follow the Sahih hadith, the authentic hadiths, sayings of the Prophet. Okay, and narrations of the Prophet's life.
Just
This is what all Sunni Muslims do.
Word is the
Now,
Quran.
earlier in the conversation, he said Shiites are not real Muslims and they're not actually practicing Islam because Shiites do not follow the Sunni hadith. Even though Sunnis follow the Quran,
I said they don't follow the Quran. You fucking making shit up as you fucking go along, mate. I said in the Quran, it says the final messenger is the Prophet, peace be upon him. Shiites claim that Imam Ali is the final messenger. You got to know the difference between
problem. All of this part of the conversation has been recorded. No, it's no problem. All of this part of the conversation has been recorded. I'm going to go back and I'm going to clip you.
You can go back.
I'm going to clip you. It's okay. It's no problem.
Okay,
we know for a fact that that's what Cuban said. Cuban was definitely pushing pro hadith and pro Sunni.
That's definitely what Cuban.
Definitely what Cuban was saying. You maybe could try to say that's not what you were saying, but that's definitely what Cuban.
I'm not sure about Astro, but I'm sure about that.
Explained it to you. He just explained the difference between hadith and Quran, and you have to explain it again to you. I said to you, it's not the final word. When you make a statement like that, it sounds really stupid. Straight out.
I don't know what about my statement was stupid because it's true. I said the Quran is the word of God. It is the word of Allah that all people that call themselves Muslims view as their holy text. The hadith are the narrations and sayings of the Prophet Muhammad in his life. And there are hadith. Every hadith is graded from being authentic to non-authentic, right? And the Sunnas follow the authentic hadith. There are Shias that follow some hadiths, but don't follow all of them. They don't follow mainly the ones the Sunnis do. This is why you call them not Muslims or not practicing Islam correctly. I don't know what's wrong with that statement. This is a fact. And you make arguments that if you don't follow the hadith, you're not following the Prophet, because the Prophet is the one who spoke and narrated a lot of the hadith. So if you don't believe in these authentic hadiths, you don't believe in Muhammad. That's a fact. If you don't believe in the sayings of the Prophet,
hang on. So your claim is that you said that Shiites are Muslim, and I said to you that in the Quran itself it says Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the last prophet. They're saying that Imam Ali is the last prophet. You see it's what would you call it? It's practically Christianity. It's going against what Islam is saying. It's got nothing to do with hadiths. You're confusing the two.
I'm not. And bottom line is,
you're confusing the two.
Islam,
you're quoting hadiths and saying that is what's in the Quran. You're making it.
I never said. See, you're a liar. I never said. Now I'm straight up calling you a liar. I never said that. I never said that any of the hadith. Did anybody understand?
We ain't getting nowhere. We're not getting nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he quite said it.
I don't even know, but we're not getting nowhere.
What about the little girls? Nobody want to talk about the little girls.
Nigga, what?
The what?
The little girls.
Oh, the little girls.
Loud ass clipping.
Little girls.
Yeah, like I'm not saying the hadith is in the Quran. I never said it. Obviously, I'm knowledgeable enough about Islam. I would never make a stupid claim like that. I never said
so knowledgeable on this though. Why are you so knowledgeable on it? Is this something you had to do, or is it something you chose to do?
Just the nature of how I was raised, and then later in life, I excessively read the Bible myself, the Quran myself, learned about the religions, and that's kind of what drove me to atheism. Learning more about certain things.
Stuff like
but
the girls and stuff.
yeah,
That kind of shit. Okay.
But yeah, like I wouldn't, even though I'm an atheist, I wouldn't lie on a religion. Like I'm not lying in anything I'm saying. You know, I'm saying the hadith is hadith. I'm not saying what I'm reading is in the Quran. I never said it. What I said is the hadith is a part of Islam, because it is. When you talk about what the religion Islam is, Islam includes the Quran, it includes the hadith, it includes the Injil. You know what the Injil is? It includes the
Before it's
Zabur.
corrupted.
You know what
That's
what
what
the
Muslims
Zabur,
believe.
you know what the Zabur is? And it
It's
includes
corrupted.
the
Before it
Torah.
was corrupted.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, whether you want to say it's before it was whatever, it includes
Yeah.
the Injil, it includes the
That's what
Torah,
Muslims
it
believe.
includes
That's
the
what it says
Zabur,
in the Quran, not hadith.
it includes the Zabur, and it includes Hadith. So for you to act like Hadith is not a part of Islam is crazy. Anyone could Google
No, I
search that
didn't
real
say
quick.
that. I said
The
that
fact
the
that this is
final
taking
word
place
is
during Ramadan.
Quranic verses. When you make a statement like that, you're making out to the viewers that this is what it says in the Quran itself.
No, what I'm
You're
making
not
out to the
quoting
viewers
from
is I'm
No, he
saying,
was not
next
saying that.
time.
He
no,
was
Hadith.
that's
not
not
Say
what I
this is
said.
hadith.
When
He
I
did not
read a
say
hadith,
that.
brother, when I read a hadith, what I'm saying to the audience is, hey, viewers, this hadith, this is Islam. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
this
saying. I'm
is
saying
Islam.
this is Islam.
Stupid,
That's what I'm
stupid
saying.
from them.
You
Dumb.
know what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is the Quran. I'm saying this is Islam.
Yeah, but
Hey, just so we're, hold on, hey, but this might be confusing to the audience, and just so we're clear, we're not talking about what's in it as though whether it's wrong or right. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm saying, hold on, because I think for clarity, the chat thinks we're trying to kind of bash the Quran or bash hadith. That's not what we're doing. Cuban made a statement that none of these places are Islamic states because they don't follow full 100% Sharia law. So he doesn't consider them Islamic states. And what Truist did was bring up what following 100% Sharia law is probably like. And that's how we got to where we are. This isn't a Quran Hadith discussion. Go ahead.
Yeah, Astro, like let's just be clear moving forward. I'm not saying these narrations are found in the Quran. That's ridiculous. The Quran.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah. The Quran is, I got a call, my bad. The Quran is Allah's word, right? It's Allah's speech. That Jibril,
that, 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so just say hadith next time so the audience can understand what you're saying.
It's
correct.
Allah's word given to Jibril or whatever spirit you think spoke to Muhammad, and then Muhammad recited it, right? And then people wrote it down later. But I'm saying the hadith is narrations and tellings from the companions of Muhammad of what he said, his life, et cetera, et cetera. And why it's important to Islam is because even the Quran says, Allah says, how could you say you believe in me if you don't believe in my prophet? So this is why if you have a hadith that is an authentic saying from Muhammad, and they could confirm that Muhammad said this, Muhammad did this, right? If you can confirm that, then for you to not follow that, you would almost not be believing in Allah, because Allah even says in the Quran, if you don't believe in my prophet, then you don't believe in me. That's all I'm saying.
You're trying to twist the words now. You're trying to twist. So the hadith is not Quran. Let's just get that clear, and we'll stop from there.
I said
Have you
that
got
a
any
million
other
times.
issues you want to bring up, or?
I said that a million times. I said hadith.
Okay, that's good. Next time, next time, say this is what hadith says. It says that when a girl, before she after she reaches puberty, she's not allowed to play with dolls.
Yeah, but brother, I don't know if you looked at my screen. I don't know if you looked at my screen, but when I shared my screen, it said in nice big letters for everyone, hadith at the top. So I don't know if you missed that, But at the
I
top
wasn't
of my
looking at the
screen,
No, he made a good point though. So Astro, was
Yep.
Aisha still playing with dolls when she was married to the prophet?
In hadith, if that's what he quoted, that's what he quoted. But it's not in the Quran. But Isonic brought up a good point because his point is
Aisha's not in the
historical.
Quran
Hang
at
on,
all. Aisha's not
can
in
you
the
let me
Quran
talk?
at all.
Can you let
They
me
don't
talk?
name Muhammad's wives in the Quran. You
Can
only
you let
know
me
the
talk?
names.
Isonic brought up a good point. He brought up an historical point. So historically, and it's documented, her sister's age. And if you go by her sister's age, Aisha would have been 13 to 19 years old. And that's
Playing with
historical.
dolls. Playing
No,
with
not
dolls.
playing with dolls. That's hadith. To be honest, I've never heard of that
But
hadith.
brother, the only
And I
reason
haven't
you
read the whole,
wait,
So
Chef,
every
how would
single
this is
you know?
hadith.
How would you know the sisters or Aisha without the hadith?
exactly. You only know who Aisha.
That
You
don't
only
even make sense.
don't make sense.
Hang
You
on.
only
No.
know Aisha because of the
I'm bringing
hadith.
up a point by Sonic. Yeah, keep letting off bombs. Is that like you got your moment?
No, because it's
I was
just
trying to
evidence.
explain
How do
that
you know
Isonic,
any of his wives are
brought
without
up
the
a point.
He is kind of cooking you right now.
You don't even know who Aisha is without the hadith. You don't know who any of his wives are without the hadith. You don't even know how to pray properly without the hadith.
You don't know how to pray?
Can I ask?
I said properly.
I just want to ask Astro a question.
Yeah.
Astro, would you agree that the hadith are not only the application to the understanding of the Quran, but as ayats were being revealed, so was the Sunnah?
Can you repeat that, champ? Sorry about that.
Okay. Would you agree that the Sunnah is the application to the Quran, and that as the Quran was being revealed, like ayats, so was the Sunnah being revealed?
So in the Quran, it does say you got to follow the Sunnat al-Rasul. You got to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet. But my point is that not every hadith can be authentic.
No, there's grades.
With dates and stuff like that. So the point I was trying to bring up to this guy.
Yeah, but everything I read was
Hang on.
Sahih, brother.
You got to be
Everything I read
quiet.
was
You got to be
Sahih.
quiet. Isonic made a point. Historically, her sister's age is documented. Okay, so that's something that you've left out. And historically, her sister, if you're going to go by her age, Aisha would have been 13 to 19 years old. But you left that out.
That's ridiculous. So when it comes to mainstream Islam, wait, hold on, brother. When it comes to mainstream Islam, even the mainstream, like you want me to go to Tasfir? The Tasfir, like Ibn Kathir don't say what you're saying. Ibn Kathir says he married her at 6 and she consummated it at 9. Are you saying Ibn Kathir's a liar?
I haven't read that, to be honest.
So you haven't read the Tasfir on Aisha's age? You want me to get it for you? You want me to get you what Ibn Kathir said?
I'm also going to
document. I'm also going to. I will give you what your sheikhs and what your Tasfir and Islamic scholars say. I'll go get that for you, and you can call them liars instead of me.
Yeah, that's their point of view.
It's not my point of view. It's Ibn Kathir's point of view.
Their point of view. Their point of view. So what
yeah,
I'm
but you like to use them when it's convenient to you. You like to use them when it's convenient to you.
The historical person of Asma and look at her age and who documented her age. Because that's a good point Isonic brought up that you just completely ignored.
If in order to record their age, right, you would have like just biographies on the companions, right? Full novels. But we're going to be looking at hadiths because the hadith, like in other words, what I'm saying, Islamically, this is what it states, that age, and it was consummated at 9, and that it was permissible for him to do this. That's what the religion teaches. There are Muslims today that are saying that she wasn't that age, she was older. Now, in that, there is a disagreement with Muslims. They're saying no, that's a lie. That she wasn't older. She was this age. So even amongst Muslims, this is an argument. So this isn't just like a thing of Muslims and non-Muslims that are having the conversation. It's conversation around the table with everybody to this day. But if you look at the Sunnah, that's what it says. The hadith about the doors, that's a legitimate hadith.
Yeah, that's a hadith. It's not in the Quran, but it's different.
It is what it is.
Yeah. But I mean, so, like I said before to this guy, that it's what's in the Quran and hadith are two different things. And about Asma, what Isonic brought up, that's the Battle of Yarmouk is a documented historical fact. So that itself can prove her age if you're going by like Western thought.
Do you follow this?
So then, according to what Cuban just said, beautifully, you would be having to use history to try to debunk your own religion.
I wouldn't be debunking my religion because it's not in the Quran.
Your religion,
no,
Islam.
Hang on. How am I debunking my own religion if it's not in the Quran?
Your religion teaches.
Hadith is different to the Quran. I tried to explain that to you before.
Islam. Why are you? Wait. Are you trying to separate Hadith from Islam?
I'm just saying the final word is.
Are you separating Hadith from Islam?
I'm not separating. I'm just saying to you the final word is the Quran itself.
Aisha is not in the Quran.
It doesn't matter. Asma's not in the Quran. Isonic brought up a point that it's recorded she was in the Battle of Yarmouk and her age was recorded.
And that would be contradictory to Aisha's narrative. That would be contradictory to Al-Bukhari's.
You can make this real easy. So then you go on the Quran and you look up the permissibility of marriage. Who can be married? At what age she can be married? So, for example, this is a hypothetical. Let's just say the Quran outwardly says 15 years of age, right? And now
didn't Muhammad have special permission that other people didn't have?
Yes.
If Muhammad wanted a man's wife, he had the ability to take another man's wife. Yes, he had certain privileges.
Certain things, according to the Sunnah, like for example, sadaqah, charity. The Prophet, according to the Hadiths, could not accept charity. And there's a story in which they were eating, and I think a child gave him a date to eat, and he couldn't accept it because it was sadaqah. Right, the boy was giving it to him. So, like anyone else that's Muslim can accept sadaqah, right? But yeah, there's certain things that would be permissible for him. But the point I was getting at was this: is that you can't have Quran without hadith and hadith without Quran. Now, if a hadith is contradictory to the Quran, then the Quran supersedes it. And it has to be looked at as far as the hadith of the grade. Is it daif? Is it weak? Is it fabricated? Is it authentic? Who were the chain of narrators? So all of those things are technical, right? But as far as it being a Sahih hadith, that was the age. So now the question is, what would the Quran say about marriage? And if she's old enough to menstruate, because it says that he married her at an age, but he consummated at another age. Like they married, but he made the consummation, right? So the consummation indicates that she could ovulate.
Let me ask you a question, Cuban. Are you familiar with Ida, like the waiting period?
Yes.
before you could sleep with a woman who was married?
Yeah, there has to be an observance of her if
Of
she
3 months.
divorced,
Of three
how long
three
she
months,
been
right?
married. Mm.
It has to be 3 months, but pretty much when a woman has an iddah, right, that only applies if she had her marriage consummated. Like if a woman divorced a man and they never had sex, there is no iddah. There is no waiting period. You don't have to wait.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
You familiar with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so are you familiar with Quran chapter 65, verse 4, where it talks about how there's 3 different terms for 3 different women? So it says, as for your women past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months. So you have a woman who's past the age of menstruation, right? Then it says, and those who have not menstruated yet, and those who are pregnant. So there's 3 women, right? It's talking about having an iddah period. The first woman is a woman who's past the age of menstruation. The second woman is a woman who hasn't menstruated yet. And the third is a woman who's pregnant. So my question to you is, what kind of woman hasn't menstruated yet? What does that mean to you?
Well,
And this is in the Quran.
From what I understand on that, that was talking about a woman of age to marry, but it's like, for example, let's just say an 18-year-old, but she still hasn't menstruated.
What type of
18-year-old hasn't menstruated?
If they have an issue in that area, yeah. Some women ovulate too much for too long. Because the reason I say this is there's a matter of fit. Let me just finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a matter of fit on when a woman menstruates under various conditions, right? Because of the whole thing of salat. The woman has to pray. If a woman's in her menstruation, she can't pray. She has to make the prayers up. If she's menstruating while Ramadan, she has to make those days up. So there's fiqh and there's conditions to those things. I'm not qualified, today to get into that at all. I'm not qualified. I'm just somebody.
Yeah, but women not menstruating at the age of menstruation, that is not in any way a common occurrence. And this verse, Quran 65, verse 4, you can pull it up. It's talking about 3 categories of women, and all 3 of them are common categories. The first one being a woman past the age of menstruation. The second being a woman who has not menstruated yet, because that's how it's worded in Arabic. She has not menstruated yet, or never has menstruated, right? And then the third category is a woman who's pregnant. There's an iddah period for those 3. So if there's an iddah period for a woman who has never menstruated, right, that means somebody touched that girl who hasn't menstruated yet.
Mm.
And that's in the Quran. And I'm just trying to explain that.
I don't have no explanation for that.
Well, then say the truth. Then say the truth. Then
all I'm saying is the argument that Ashley was bringing was that in that case of the Quran superseding hadith is when the hadith is found to, like, for example, give you an example. If you had a hadith that talked about Samson and Delilah, right? What's that great hadith? Like the Quran may have not mentioned a Samson and Delilah, or something that could be a little obscure or off. That's when the Quran would be above it. But I'm in agreement with you that is what the religion teaches. That she was that age that they married. She was that age.
Yeah, and I brought that verse up.
Hold on, Truist. But the whole point of this, because I don't want to get into a bashing Quran session.
Nobody's
would
bashing
you
the Quran.
agree? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, would you at least somewhat back off the fact that an Islamic State has to follow this shit 100% in order for it to be an Islamic State?
All I'm saying is Islam.
No,
Like,
you can't even answer the question.
No. I can't
Okay.
answer this. Let me lay this out right now. In case y'all don't know, I have a high respect for Islam. I no longer practice the religion. Do I have a love for the religion? Absolutely. Am I an apologist for it? Absolutely. Because there's things that I think sometimes it's mistaken. In this situation, however, I'm not a fan of it. Okay, that's just me. But when I speak on things, I'm just directing from what the religion teaches. What I think doesn't matter. If this is the subject, this is the subject. But the religion teaches she was a young age and was consummated at 9 years old. Now,
You know, you
why?
still ain't answered. You didn't answer my question. You just started telling me
I'm
about
not-
your
I
love
just
and
told
what
you
you
I'm not
practice and
feeling-
all of
I'm
that.
not feeling that aspect, but to be
You're not
real,
feeling what aspect?
I'm not feeling young girls being married and all.
So then you would agree
Yeah,
that
but
an
then-
Islamic State
but
cannot
if-
follow
if-
it 100%.
But what I'm saying is that if they're gonna follow the Islamic State, it has to be what the religion says. Now, the religion doesn't say that a man can go out and marry a little girl, right? Doesn't say that. He married a little girl, but they have to believe that their prophet married a little girl at that age.
Yeah,
because that's a part of
because he did it. But Cuban, what you have to be honest about is because he did it, and it wasn't said like him doing that was something only Muhammad could do. Like, because there are things right in Hadith that make it clear Muhammad has certain privileges, right? But that was not something that was a certain privilege to him. So anything that isn't a privilege to Muhammad as a Muslim following in his footsteps, it is permissible for you to follow. You have to be honest about that. Unless it's explicitly stated, this was some sort of right granted to Muhammad as a prophet of Allah. You as a Muslim are supposed to see his walk as something permissible for you.
Well, if it is the case that it's permissible in the religion for a man to marry a girl that age, then that's what the religion teaches.
I mean, that's what it does. That's what we just.
So
In order for an Islamic State to be an Islamic State in your eyes, that's what they'd have to practice.
That's following
No. Since you won't answer the question, I'll answer it for you.
No. You don't have to practice. Listen, a man can have up to 4 wives, but if he knew best, he would have one. That's what the Quran says. It's permissible for
I
a
ain't
man
talking
to have
about wives. I'm talking about a 6-year-old girl.
I'm giving you an
I
example.
don't want the whatabouts, bro. You don't walk me all over the Quran. Just answer the question.
I'm answering the question. But just because something's permissible doesn't mean the Muslim has to do it. It
I
just
agree.
means it's
I agree.
permissible.
I agree.
We understand that. Stop telling us what we understand. What I'm saying is your original point was this. They're not Islamic states because they don't follow Sharia law 100%. So whether it's permissible, no matter what you could do with wives and all this, that, and the other, you would be okay by stating that.
I didn't
in order
say
for
I
it to
would
be an
be okay.
Islamic, in order for it to be an Islamic state, it would have to be permissible to do that with a 6-year-old.
No, what I'm saying is that if it's an Islamic state, then let it be an Islamic state. I didn't say I was okay with anything because you also came to say,
all right. Can we talk about something else? Yeah, apparently, I get what you're doing, but you're not being forthcoming, and now we
I am
in
being
the loop.
forthcoming.
We're not being forthcoming.
Listen, I'm not with it. But if
I'm not
that's
saying what
it
you
is,
with and all of that, but you ain't. Now you running from your previous statement.
I'm not running from my creed. You don't like
So
what I'm
then-
saying.
so- No, it ain't
Okay,
without.
so
It's
look,
not. I don't
I'll
like
ask
that
the
you're not
question
answering.
again.
The, no,
If that's the case, then let it be Judaism, and now you can go out and cut off the force.
Yeah, I know. Do the what about? Yeah, do the what
to your
aboutism.
king.
I know. Start talking about other religions. Name
No, but
another
what
one.
I'm saying is, no matter which one you pick, there's going to be absurd practices.
That's fine, but you won't even admit that the one that but you won't even admit the one that we're talking about in regards to yours, and the one that you think should run the government is absurd.
Out
Also,
of the three, you can actually see something where there are places where it exists.
100% of any religion. 100%.
According to you, they're not Islamic.
Yeah.
See, wait, Cuban, you're double talking now. Because according to you, those places, those places you said they're not Islamic, bro.
Hey, can we move to something else, bro?
Move to something else.
This ain't even like. You just said if you run any of the other three, it's absurd. But I'm trying to get you to understand that the one that you said they should run is absurd, and you can't even admit that.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying, to me, it's the best out of the three.
Yeah,
Damn.
for the 6-year-old.
Huh?
For the 6-year-old, it's the best out of the three.
I'm an atheist, but I'll debate Christianity is better for people.
I don't think any country should not be. I don't believe in. I know that there are some, but I'm damn near close to Chef when it comes to this. In 2026, I don't know if we should even be going that route of some form of 100% religious state or country. It's problematic.
But
it
I never
becomes
said
very problematic when you start trying to enforce some of these things in these books that are old as time. It becomes problematic. It becomes very problematic. I'm not with nuking nothing, but some of that shit you do not want people growing up underneath an 100% any religious book.
Yeah, that's why the separation of church and state was so important. Like they understood that centuries ago, and somehow in 2026, right, we acknowledge it being wrong for a certain religion to have a religious state. Meanwhile, we're still advocating for another religion to have a religious state, but they already have like multiple religious states. And the one you're crying about doesn't even have a single religious state at all.
Brass, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Asana.
agree with you. I agree with the comment you just made. But at the same time, Iran, they consider themselves a Muslim state, right?
Yes, Islamic State.
Yeah, and
I don't know if it's the same thing. That's the only reason I'm correcting you.
No, you're right. It's the same thing though, but you're right. They do have a Jewish community that practices their own law, so they don't enforce Islamic law on the Jewish community. Do you see what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying, but based off, I don't know if you was here before what Cuban said. What Cuban was saying was not what you're describing. What Cuban was saying was they all live together under Muslim law.
But
so basically, it would be Jews living under Muslim law.
But Islamic law says to let them practice and have their own court system.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they pay the jizya. But what I'm saying, guys, what I'm saying, guys, Sonic.
No, I get. Hold on, let Sonic finish because y'all been talking back and forth. Let's get some new voices. I think who is that? Whoever that is, need to meet up.
Before when I came in, I wasn't too sure yet.
No, that's not Sonic. Who is that? All right, go ahead, Sonic. Finish your thought.
I was just trying to show you that I agree with you, but there's also nuances to certain things. When I do hear the whole jizya thing, there's nuances to that too. The Muslims pay one tax, the jizya is another tax. However, the jizya is a smaller tax than the Muslims who are also going to war, who their responsibility is to protect the community that lives in their land. When back in the day, the Jews lived in Andalusia and they got kicked out of that Spain area, the Jews asked the Muslims, "Can we go with you?" That's how they got back into Morocco with them. They actually worked with them, and they lived in Morocco. Most of them still had nowhere to go, Morocco. Bro. So at the end of the day, they could have stayed there and got slaughtered by the Christians. Like this is like there's nuances to it. He's an atheist with Christian talking points.
No, I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist.
Wait. I know it was a bar and it might have struck, but you gotta let him. You gotta let him finish. That was impressive, Isaiah. That was impressive.
But
Go
at the end
ahead.
of the day, I agree with you. It's 2026. We should be able to live amongst each other and not force ideas on each other. We're past that.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, so I'm an atheist that knows the religion enough to bring up objective points about it. And if you were to call that Christian talking points, you could call it that. But I'm bringing up facts that you guys are struggling to refute. And I don't think a people running from genocide and being oppressed and looking for safety from anybody they could get it from, whether it was getting safety from Muslims, Christians, or whoever else. I mean, I don't think we should look at them as less than or anything of that nature because they were trying to survive. I mean, your prophet. Wait, hold on. Let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. I allowed you to finish.
I thought World War II.
Your prophet Muhammad, he had to run his ass out of where he was from. He had to run to Ethiopia. He had to flee Medina. He had to flee Arabia because he was getting persecuted, right? And the Ethiopian Christians brought him in and sheltered him and protected him. And then, can you let me finish, please?
I'm gonna finish that, so you can go next.
Right? And look, I don't look at him in any way for doing that. He was trying to survive. Him and his people were trying to survive. And whether it was Christians that brought him in, Jews that brought him in, or whoever else, he was trying to survive. So I really don't like those kind of talking points because we're kind of removing the humanity of people trying to live and survive. And lastly, brother, I hear you guys keep talking about how Jews and Christians were living in peaceful and harmony under these Islamic states. And I don't deny that, right, to a degree, right? But I'm saying, why when someone suggests the inverse happens, it's a problem. Like when someone suggests, okay, let's do the opposite of what you're saying. Let's let these people have their religious state and you guys can live in peace and harmony under their Jewish state. Why, when we say, let's do what you did, but just the inverse of it, it's a problem. Go.
Why does it bother you so much? Can I bring up a point?
Yeah, go ahead, Astro.
Yeah, okay. So World War II, I'm 100% that they won the war. So what were they running from? What were they running from if the war was won? I'm just trying to correct that.
The question, or you want to talk?
So these people migrated to Palestine, and the people living there were forcefully driven out of their homes, close to 700,000. And he's saying that they were running from something, from persecution, when World War II was won. There was no Nazis left. But it's not about that. We're talking about 2026. The point we were bringing, if you're going to have one religious state, you've got to consider other religious groups within that state. Having one state with different religious beliefs. And right now, there's Arabs that live in Israel that are not being treated equal to normal Israelis. So that's happening right now. It's already a Jewish state, and there's already how many 2 million Palestinian Muslims, and there's some they are not equal to a Jewish person in Israel.
Yeah, brother, I don't think that's right. If that's happening, if that's happening, right? I'm not saying I don't believe you.
It is happening.
You're probably correct. But
I am correct.
I don't think that. I don't think. Wait, okay. I'm giving you that.
What were they running from? This is a question I want to ask you.
Brother, I'm answering your question. I don't agree with that. I think that if that's happening, there should be intervention to make them stop. But I don't think the solution to that is saying, now we need to strip your religious state away. No,
No.
I
It's
think,
not.
wait, hold on. I think they should be allowed to have a religious state that is treats everybody, no matter what their religion is in their state, fairly, just like
Yeah,
the
but
Islamic countries do.
that's
But it
happening right
seems to be.
now,
Wait, hold
and
on,
it's not
Let me
working.
finish. It
Not
seems to
working.
be what you're suggesting. What I hear a lot of people suggest is that the Jewish people are incapable of having a Jewish state and allow people to practice religious freedom in their state. That's what it sounds like to me. Like it's
Okay,
impossible to do.
how
It,
about you look
it
at the
sounds
records
like
right now?
what's being
Look
said
at
is the Zionists are
no, he's
incapable,
not
not the
getting.
Jew.
What did you say,
The
nigga?
Zionists.
Oh,
Did they not have a ceasefire? And how long into the
Who's
ceasefire did the
who's
Zionists go killing Palestinians? How many ceasefires
yeah?
they had where they went against the ceasefire?
So again, I'm just trying to
Are these
cut to the
actual
chase.
questions
I'm just trying
or
to.
what? Y'all
I'm try-
pausing,
yeah,
but then y'all get mad when somebody else start talking.
yeah,
Either
like
answer the question or don't, but make your statement. Make a statement and keep talking.
We made a statement. Hang on, it's 2026, and he's saying that what's the problem if they have a religious state? Well, they got a religious state. What are they doing to the Palestinians? Now that you got to look at the facts. What's happening on the ground in Palestine, Israel, in that region?
Astro, I'm
What
asking
he's
you very
saying
clearly. Are you
is
saying
there's
because of what's
genocide
happened?
and it's
I'm
and
asking.
there's apartheid state.
I clearly
You
said.
can't
I think.
answer that.
I
The
said
kiss
it's
is in La La
Astro.
Land.
I'm trying to have an objective conversation. I acknowledged all of that. I said it's wrong. I said there should be intervention to force them to allow people to practice religious freedom in their religious state. But now I'm asking you just to cut through all the fat so we can be very clear with each other. Are you saying because of what's already happened and what's happening that you don't see a possibility for there to be a Jewish-ran state that allows other groups to practice their religion freely in it? Are you saying it's impossible for you to imagine?
Evidence, hang on. If you want to go by evidence, you tell me what's happening right now on the ground in Palestine. You tell me right now what's happening, and that's your evidence. I don't even need to.
So you're not going to answer my question. Can you just answer my question? I'm trying to cut through all the fat.
You go look at the news. You see how many settlements are being built, how much, what rights Palestinians have in Palestine, 2026, being treated like second-class citizens.
And I'm asking you, you don't think there's a possibility?
You're still talking, what's the problem with them having a... Mate, it's 2026. The evidence right now in Israel,
I'm going to answer you clearly. The reason it keeps happening is because what I'm saying isn't happening. You don't have anybody intervening to force them to. The people like the US, and wait, hold on. The people like the US and the people like England that should be telling them, hey, Israel, y'all got to cut that shit out. We're going to stop giving you money. We're going to stop giving you got to cut that shit out. Treat those Palestinians right. Let them practice Islam freely in your country. Right?
Okay, so now we go back to your statement.
Because that's not happening. That is why what you see is happening today and in the past keeps going on. Because instead of the U.S. Forcing them to make these people treat the people within their religious state correctly isn't happening, that's why they continue doing what they're. I'm asking you, you don't see a world where if the U.S. was forced to make Israel treat the people right, you don't see a world where there could be
your statement now. Can I ask you? What did you change your statement now? What did
I didn't change my. It's the same question. I'm asking you. Do you not see a possibility?
No. You said. Do I have a problem? I don't have a problem with Jewish people. They're my cousins. Why would I have a problem with my cousins? I would never have a problem. We're talking about evidence. 2026, right now on the ground in Israel, are Palestinians being treated like equal citizens? And you just said no. So there's your evidence. What do you want me to explain? You open the papers, you go look, you do your own research.
Yes, that is happening, but I'm asking you for the fifth time.
I don't have a problem.
This is the last time I'm going to ask you this question. This is the last time I'm asking this question. Do
Yeah,
you think
go
it's
after.
impossible? Do you think it is impossible for there to be a Jewish state where others are able to practice religious freedom in it? Do you think that's
It's
impossible?
impossible when
Yes.
Zionists run the country. Is that
Okay,
the
I'm
Yes,
answer?
it
done.
is.
All right, no problem.
And
That's
Let
the
me
answer.
answer that question.
Jewish people.
Hi, Sonic. Let me answer that question. It is impossible. Currently now in Israel, when Christians visit Israel and are at the Wailing Walls, Jews are seen spitting on the Christians, especially the American Christians
Thank you.
who
Thank you.
finance Israel. The American
Thank you.
Christian who finance Israel, when they go to Israel, they are currently being spat. That's a word, spatted? Is that a word? Or spit
Spit.
upon?
Spit.
Whatever you want to call it. They're currently being spit upon. The same Americans who finance Israel. Israel today do not tolerate other religion. You think a shy don't tolerate other religion. They only tolerate the people at the Wailing Wall because they understand that's how they get the money. But if they didn't need Christian money, Christians couldn't go to Israel. Because the Orthodox Israel, they're spitting on them. When they go to some section, especially
That's
black
evidence.
Christians. Let black
But you-
Christians go to Israel.
But
So
Let the
stupid.
black
You don't
Christians go to
think
Israel.
if the U.S. or if England actually told Israel to stop and enforced some real like, look, you got to treat these people that you are governing correctly. You don't think that in a world where that happens, where we have senators and politicians that say, look, we're cutting
No.
off funding to Israel, we're funding,
Let me
we're
answer that
cutting off.
question. Let me answer that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When from the 80s, you have a song that I love. Why don't we all just get drunk and sing beer drinking song? What was that ugly bald man who was the head of the PLO? What was his name from
You talking about
80s, 70s?
Roth? You talking about Alan Rothenberg?
No, it's not. No, the PLO. Arafat. Was it Arafat? Yes, I
Arafat
think it
was
was Arafat.
PLO in Palestine.
Yes, PLO, Palestine. Yeah. When we look at it, when the two-state agreement came about, Israel agreed to it. When Israel agreed to the two-state, they had backdoor dealing with the settlers. When they use the word settlers, don't let the word settlers fool you. Settlers are Israeli. So to the front of the world, they were saying, okay, we will give these people the shitty part of the land, and we'll take this part of the land. But then they said, no, we also need the land. Gaza is not the problem, because Gaza is so small. It's mostly Palestinian in Gaza. But when you go to the West Bank can never be separated again. Because what they did is that the settlers moved in pockets and it infiltrated the West Bank all over. So there's no line of demarcation to say, Palestinian lives here and Israeli lives here. The Israelis literally take over most of the West Bank. When you look at it, they took over the West Bank, they took over the water. Nobody don't tell you about water rights either. The two dudes on you were talking religion. I would say to them, so when they bring up age, I would say how old Juliet was in Romeo and Juliet, how old Mary was. Let's go back to medieval times. What was the average age a girl was being married in medieval times? Between the ages of 8 and 14. We know that from history. So if you bring up young girls during that time, that was a norm across the world. That young
That's
girls
his
were
only
used as
argument.
tools.
Hamas, I'm Stupies. Do you know what the PLO is?
Palestinian Liberation Organization. Do you
And
know what the Black Panthers
do you know what Fatah?
Do you know what the Black Panthers
Wait,
are?
what? Do you know what Fatah is? Do you know what Fatah is?
No, tell me, educate me, because I know what the Black Panthers are. You know
All
what the
right,
Black
so-
Panthers is?
Yes. So in 2006, right? In 2006, do you know what happened between the PLO and Hamas?
In 1949, when Israel, did you know what happened to the Palestinian people in Israel when Israel went and pushed them out of them houses?
Why are we
You did not.
like
No,
answering my question with a question?
because because what you're doing, you're being disingenuous. You're
I'm
acting
not.
like the Palestinians are the only aggressors.
I'm really
You
not.
ask me that
I'm
question.
really
You
not.
ask me that question.
I'm really
No,
not.
you ask somebody who studied the matter to
Yeah, so
answer a
I'm
question
asking you
that
what
makes
happened in 2006.
what you're
Tell
doing
us
is
what
making the
happened.
Palestinian. Tell us what's happening. Tell us what happened. You tell us what's
Okay.
happening. And the
Okay.
Palestinian
So
did what?
hold on. The
Mhm.
PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They were one political faction amongst the Palestinian people. They are more about secular nationalism, right? And they're the ones that to this day are still trying to push towards a two-state solution with Israel. Hamas, it was also at this time a political, and it still is a political organization of the Palestinian people. In 2006, right, for the first time, Hamas won the election against the PLO. Hamas, their politics is more about Islamic nationalism, right, as opposed to
Yeah.
secular nationalism, and they don't want a two-state solution, obviously. So when they win the election in 2006 against the PLO, right, because the people of Palestine majoritarily decided they wanted to go the Islamic State route, this is where you have a full-blown conflict, like tidy battle between the PLO and Hamas, and Hamas has controlled the Gaza Strip ever since. All right.
You know,
So-
all right,
so-
let me say something. All right, you said that to you said that to say what? You said
I'm
that
saying,
to say
I'm
what?
saying that to say when you try to talk like the Palestinian people have some uniform political ideology that all is completely in line with Hamas. I'm saying the PLO/Fatah, which still exists today, is a political movement within Palestine that is still actively trying to negotiate two-state solutions with
talking.
Israel.
All right, don't cut me no more. Don't cut me. You can't cut me no more. Because you know what you just did? You see, when I was younger, I used to be in politics, grassroots level politics. I need everybody to understand that when stupids talk from experience every fucking time. I used to be in grassroots politics. And when you belong to groups, how you can find infiltrators and collaborators, and that is what I'm calling you, is that when you're speaking and you start talking facts, they come and they interrupt you with trivial information to throw you off your way and to introduce new topics into a conversation. And that's what you just did. You did a collaborative move. Dude, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you farther than I can. I don't trust you as a black man in a group with other black men. Because how you argue like a collaborator. But I done with the Palestinian argument. Because I wish the Palestinians would get brave enough to burn that shit down. Because that's the only answer to the question, the Israeli question, is that the Palestinians have to rise up one day and just burn the shit down. Just like how black Americans were willing in the 60s and 70s to rise up and burn the shit down. Sometimes burning the shit down is the only solution. When you're up against very powerful people. Black people did it. All over the world will understand that we need to burn the shit down. And that's what you have to do.
I think it's very black grassroots of you to get all antagonistic with another black man over the internet because we disagree. Because we disagree over a political issue. We disagree over a political issue on Discord. Mr. Pro Black Grassroots is antagonizing a fellow black man. Someone that could be his son, probably. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
So in other news,
Let me say
the
one thing.
Israeli government was involved in the assisting or empowering the Palestinian political and military organization Hamas at various points in history. This support continued during and in spite of active military hostiles between the two sides. So that should raise questions.
Cuban, let me add to that, please. He gave a good point, like timeline with the dates and everything. But what you said is big. Israel is connected to Qatar. They allowed Qatar to fund Hamas in order to break up the PLO, so there would be no unity within the Palestinian groups. So then Israel used that. So they created the division. And later on, they kept the chaos going, and that's how we got to where we are today. So you got to see the full picture. So who supported Hamas with financially? Qatar. Who allowed them to bring in the money? Israel.
Isada, could I ask you, when you say create tension between the PLO, at what point was the PLO not like pushing for a two-state solution? At what point was the PLO pushing for an Islamic State like Hamas is? Because from all of my assessment of the situation, the PLO as a political movement has always been secular and has always been working towards working and negotiating with Israel. And Hamas is the political party for Palestinians that have the opposite view of that. So at what point are you saying the PLO was thinking like Hamas thinks?
I never said that. What I was trying to show is when the PLO would have been able to unify and work with Israel for the two-state solution, Israel does not want the two-state solution. So what they did was they allowed Hamas to get funding so they can take over at least one part of it, which creates division. The PLO would have the West Bank, Hamas would have the Gaza Strip, and then later on, you fight the one group while you're funding them in order to make sure there's no unity, and at the same time increase the settlements in the West Bank so that you can take over that land, and there's no way to split it, which Stupi's pointed out. So at the end of the day, your two-state solution is a talking point used by the West in order to keep saying that until they have enough settlements.
So is the PLO? So is the Palestinian Liberation our organization? Are they the West? Is the PLO the West?
They're in the West Bank.
No, but I'm asking you: is the PLO, right, which is a Palestinian political movement and party, is that the West?
I notice I'll make a point, and you'll come up with a random question that has nothing to do with the topic.
You literally just said the West. You said the wait. I saw it. Like we're cool. You said that the West is pushing for a two-state solution. You also said the PLO has been pushing for a two-state solution. So then I'm asking you: are you suggesting that the PLO is the West?
I never said that, but let me finish.
Huh? This is recorded, right?
You know what? I think you're trying to teach today. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is recorded.
All I needed to know. This is recorded. I'll make sure. But go ahead, I saw it.
Go ahead with what? You know what's just happened right now? You throw in a question because you try to use that Hamas talking point, and I showed you where the funding comes from, how the breakup happened, and you're like, well, now let's.
Yeah, but you're ignoring that the PLO. But you're ignoring that the PLO. But you're ignoring that the PLO is a political party. You're ignoring that the PLO. The PLO is a political party.
For the rest of the show. Go.
Yeah, but why? Like, I don't know why when I point out facts, whether it's about the situation or the Quran or Hadith, why it becomes so like contentious. I'm saying factually, the PLO is a Palestinian political party, and factually, that political party is pro-secular nationalism, and they have actively been working with the Israeli government to come to some sort of negotiation or two-state solution. Those are facts. And I'm asking you, because I heard you say loud and clear, that's why I'm glad this is recorded, that the two-state solution is something that the West is pushing for. So once you say that, I have to ask you, are you calling the PLO, which is a Palestinian political party, the West? That's all I'm asking. Are they the West?
Yeah. I think that's run its course, maybe.
Yeah. Brass, there's no point in you responding because every time.
Yeah, we're just gonna be in a loop. But it is recorded if y'all want to look at it. I think it's a good conversation. I've seen this conversation with people that actually do policy go way worse than what we did it. I think we did it with a certain level of good discourse. So I can at least appreciate that and applaud the discord. Do y'all have anything on the topic? I know the majority of everybody else is listening. Do y'all have anything on the conversation? Corey, you got anything? Chef, you got anything? Logic, any of the other people that's on mute? Or do y'all have another conversation before I end the show? I'm getting a little sick of seeing Cuban get his head kicked in. Truist, by the way, I appreciate everything you brought. And if you ever don't want to, take on the entire Discord in the conversation, I will I'll definitely oblige you and see if we can move it to a conversation everybody could talk to. Anybody else? Everybody going once, everybody going twice. Y'all have a good evening. Hey, y'all got the chance to do the conversation. Huh? What?
I said salam.
Oh,
You
okay.
did a great job, bro.
I don't know what you say, brother.
This was very difficult at times, man. Difficult to hear, difficult to kind of understand it, and kind of follow the conversation. It went all over the place really fast. You did a great job.
I appreciate y'all. And shouts to you, Astro, for actually coming in here from the chat. Shouts to Egg Beats for being terrified to come in here and defend his stance. And shout out to Pure Black. I heard you just celebrated a birthday. So shout out to you, brother. Y'all have a good one.
And peace to all y'all.
Hold on. What was Egg's point? What was Egg's position?
He said we carrying the white man's water. He was gonna come in here and show us how it's done, but he never really specified what the fuck he was talking about. He just talked shit and kind of.
He kept saying the link was expired, even though it wasn't. He said that we're carrying the white Jews' water.
Mm-hmm.
Religion has nothing to do with the criminal colonial settlement of Israel. He called us all Jew defenders, and Jeffrey Epstein and his Talmudic white Jew friends, were they moral in 2026? Just a lot of stuff that I don't think he would have said had his mic been on.
Yeah.
How are the victims of the white European slave trade rooting for the white man to colonize other people? This is crazy.
Yeah,
And he
no, I
said that
mean,
this
this
is
was a
that's
conversation.
their business. Who gives the whites or America the right to determine how Arabs live?
Yeah, no, this is a conversation I have a lot with my peers in my everyday life.